Well, hello, everybody. I am so glad that I am learning how to use StreamYard. This right here makes me comfortable. Yeah, it makes me real comfortable because, well, when I am exhausted like I am today after this unbelievable week, it makes it a lot easier for me to just come right out and start talking to everybody. I want to thank everybody for all of the support that you guys have given to this channel over the past year. I want to also say that over the past year, the channel has gone through some leaps and bounds, a bunch of changes, and all of that good stuff. But even with that, I just want to say that you guys are awesome. And I do want to recap some of the things that's gone on this past week, some of the things that have been amazing. Um, and I just don't know where to start. Wow. Um, this week has been off the chain, off the chain. It's just, the first thing that I want to talk about is, of course, let's start at the top of the week. We can definitely start with the whole entire situation with I can't even call that a debate. Um, I think that for it to have been a debate, it was amazing. So if we want to recap on that, we can start there. Proverb Nation, peace and love to you as well. I was just saying that I thank everybody for their support, Proverb Nation, for this channel. Um, when I first started it, and I'm just talking to you because it's just you and I here for now, but honestly, when I first started the channel, I really didn't know how I would be received because of my own inequities. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get those things where you feel like, gee whiz, I don't know if people are going to receive me well or not. Um, and so I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who's actually joined the channel, who has taken their time to subscribe to the channel, which would include you for being here. Um, and I just think that it's a blessing to have people who care enough to listen to what it is you have to share. And so I did want to start there, and I think gratitude is a great place to start. Without being happy or without having a heart of gratitude, what do you have? Then I also want to say that no matter what side of the fence you sit on, it is definitely time, if we have not already started, it is time to begin to pray for our nation. Hey, it's never too late to start, right? It's never too late to start. And so, with that said, some of the things that have gone on over the past few days, past few months, this whole year of 2020 are things that are troubling at best, but it's nothing that our God cannot get us through, right? There's nothing impossible for him. And so, even with right now, the president and his wife, and all this. Listen, I know there's a lot of people out there that say, well, I don't think it's real, or I think he's faking, or I think it's this, or I think it's that. Well, I'm just so pleased to be here. I really honestly am. From the humble beginnings and to the humble place that this channel is at right now, it hasn't been a fast moving ship or fast moving freight train. You know what I mean? It's been one of those things that have um, been pretty ongoing. Every time you turn around, there's something going on here, something going on there. I've tossed around different ideas of how to do the channel or what to start it with. I started out really as just making it as a release for some of the pain and things that I had suffered in my life. Um, Having had a ministry background, having had a gospel singing background, having struggled with addictions of food and things of that nature, we go through a myriad of things as long as we're inside of this earth suit. And so I found myself just wanting to love people. You know what I mean? Just really, just love people and believing that by loving people, it would at least heal my little small area of the world, the little corner that I took up. And so that's what I started out doing, just really wanted to be transparent, heal, get some of the stuff that I had gone through in my life that I believe possibly helped with some of those, like I said, food addictions and things like that. Talking about the sexual abuse that I had experienced as a child, the physical abuse that I had experienced as an adult woman, the cheating that my husbands have done on me, because I've been married at least, I'm only going to claim 2 of them, Proverb Nation. But just to talk about, some of those things that I had experienced in my life, I think that as long as people are willingly transparent, that it can heal those around you, because you don't ever know who's going through something. You always sort of think that it's internalized, and so I won't share or I won't tell. And that's what the channel started with. The channel's inception was me getting on here, talking about my life, talking about things and experiences. And then after that happened, my fear was that people would not receive the direction that I am. And so that's why I made my introduction, is you may tune into this channel and you just may hear some things that might blow your mind, or some ideas that you didn't think that a person that looks like me would have. But I think I'm like everybody else. I think I'm just like everybody else, because I think we all have different sides of us. When you're in the work mode, obviously you do what you do, and if you love it, you do it well, or you at least strive to do it well. I think that if you are a mother, you try to be your best that you can be. If you are a bus driver, you try to be the best bus driver that you can be. Anything you put your hands to, I think it's human nature to try to be the best at it. And so having gone through all those things, I just wanted to release some of it. And this was the way that I did it. And then I said, gee, I'm not ashamed or afraid to be on the screen. Ironically, I'm not on it now because, well, I'm learning how to use this avatar. But I was really like, oh my God, I'm paralyzed now. I cannot use my face anymore. My face, if I'm tired, does this or that. I don't want people to see me. I'm so ashamed of, how I look now. And then I just had somebody tell me, big deal, who cares? People will get over it. But the funny thing is, Proverb Nation, I never thought like that. I was always so wanting to make sure that, people receive me in a balanced way, that I didn't want to have that hanging over my head, And somebody just came out and said, well, just forget it. Just say what it is that you've got to say. Put it out there, put it out there and let the chips fall where they may. And that's what I did. But with that said, I do want to recap some of the things that are going on this week, but I'm glad that you were here to allow me to vent even further. Do you see how awesome this is? I could just vent and I could just share. And that's why I started the channel, because it was a healing method for me to still be able to do the things that I had always done in my life. Whether it be the recording that I had done, or whether the recordings that I've done, or whether it be the broadcasting that I have done, all of those things I was able to do here. So I do want to recap some of the things that's gone on this week. And I just want to see, what direction is everybody going in right now? I know that there are a lot of people that are talking about Trump. But I do want to give a couple of stories, and maybe we can touch base on some of that. Now, there are some serious concerns. As they say, Trump struggles to breathe with COVID-19 in the hospital, and that his aides are seriously concerned, but he says, I'm doing well. And I just have to say, no matter who it is, whether it's Trump or whether it's our previous president or any human being, your mindset is everything. So if he says he's well, then we have to get in line with him and say, okay, he says he feels well, and we confess that. And it doesn't matter who it is. I truly believe that if we are called of God, that we have to understand that the principles of God are in place, no matter who elects to use them. And as long as you know who he is, now you are responsible for carrying that word in everything you do. Does that make sense? You are responsible for carrying his word and for living according to his word. And there's no guile in him. So if this cat says that he feels fine, then that's what I'm going to say. The rest of the story says that Donald Trump is having trouble breathing. Trump is 74, and he was rushed to Walter Reed Medical Center out of an abundance of caution on Friday night as he experiences the symptoms caused by the coronavirus. Citing sources, CNN reported after Trump's hospitalization, the White House officials have serious concerns about his condition tonight. The sources say that Trump's symptoms are worse than the First Lady's at this point. Now, there were some stories that said that, he was actually having trouble breathing. But this guy looked awful good to me. I mean, if he's got some good sense, then to me, I don't know. I'm gonna tell you how I would have been. I would have been like, okay, no problem. I'm just going to I'm just going to hang out here for a second, and you guys can think about me what you want, but I'm gonna do me. You guys can think that there's something wrong. I'm just gonna do me. I'm gonna go hide out, and y'all can believe that I got this virus, but I'm gonna go over here and get well and get my mind right and relax, especially after this past Tuesday. I mean, that was just, it was horrific. But I think this nation is where our minds need to be. We need to have our minds, those of us who know how to pray. See, Proverb Nation, this is not for everybody. Being able to pray is not for everybody. Understanding the power of prayer, for those of us who do, it's our responsibility. That's why we don't get the easy road out. You know what I mean? The people who don't know how to pray, well, for them, they don't have to. And you know what? We probably wouldn't want them to, because a lot of them probably would not be equipped to do just that, to have the mindset that says, I'm just going to pray for our country because our country needs it now. And that's why I came back on after speaking with that wonderful young lady who shared with us about being hurt and harmed and stabbed 18 times and left for dead. Because I just wanted to just say, hey, you know what? Let's recap this week. But most importantly, for those of us who know how to pray for our nation, that's what we should be doing right now. I don't think people see the depth of trouble that our country is in. I think they see the topical stuff, having to wear the mask and the COVID-19, and then having to deal with all these food shortages and things of that nature that they keep talking about on the TV and on the radio and everything. I think people see that, but I don't think they understand that this is a spiritual battle, and that it is, as my guest on Wednesday night said, it is a battle of good and evil. It is nothing but a battle of good and evil. It's not anything else. And so where do the good come in? How do we step into that? If we know that it's a battle of good and evil, the only thing that we can do is do our Father's will. And that is why I say we must pray for our country. There's been a lot of stuff that's going on. I understand that I'm going to show you this right here. It showed that not Korea, I think it was, North Korea. It was North Korea. Kim Jong-un's sister, his sister popped up, and they thought that she was dead. But I'm even going to read this. Let me read this, because I think that this shows us what other people think about our country. I really do. I'm going to read this here. This is a nice story. Well, I'm not going to say it's a nice story. I'm going to give an account of what he says. How about that? So here, North Korea's Kim Jong-un, if you can see that. Let's go ahead and maximize that just a bit, just a touch. Okay. Oh, we don't want to see my whole desktop. All right, so here it says that North Korea's Kim wishes Trump's recovery from the coronavirus. Seoul, Korea's North Korean leader, Kim Jong-un, on Saturday sent a message of sympathy to President Donald Trump and his wife, Melania, wishing they would recover from the COVID-19 illness, state media reported. Quote, he sincerely hoped that they would recover as soon as possible. He hoped they will surely overcome it. And that is from the Korean Central News Agency. He sent warm greetings to them. Trump, this past Friday, as we both know, and it's just you and I, as we know, he and his wife had tested positive for the coronavirus, and the leaders across the world have sent messages of goodwill to the couple. Right here, Kim and Trump once exchanged threats of destruction and crude insults after North Korea in 2017 carried out a series of high profile weapons tests at acquiring ability to launch nuclear strikes. Now, I'm not sure if it was them or was it China just recently who actually had um, this thing that they were able to put on the end of um, there's these warheads that they were able to put on the end of their missiles as they guided them. And so I found that pretty unique. But yeah, that part. But they've been practicing a whole lot of stuff. Now there was also some stories here. Oh my God, she did. Now I heard that she was coughing, but they now say that Kellyanne Conway, where have I been? Oh, I've been busy. Kellyanne Conway tests positive for the coronavirus. I've begun the quarantine process, she says. Wow. So Kellyanne Conway, a former counselor to Donald Trump, has tested positive for the novel coronavirus. Conway, 53. Wow. She's 53. 53 shared, I'm almost 60. So I have reasons for my bags. Conway, 53, shared her diagnosis on Friday night with a brief statement on Twitter. Tonight I tested positive for COVID-19, Conway wrote on Twitter on Friday. She says, my symptoms are mild, a light cough, and I'm feeling fine. She added, I have begun a quarantine process in consultation with physicians. As always, my heart is with everyone affected by this global pandemic. She was one of several others in attendance at the White House Rose Garden on Saturday when Trump announced the nomination of Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court, who has since tested positive. What? Who has since tested positive for the coronavirus respiratory virus? Conway was photographed in several of the rows without a face mask. Wow. Wow. Okay, so now I know that Amy Coney Barrett had the coronavirus this past summer. She had the coronavirus this past summer. And so now to find that they're going to halt everything. That's the goal, is to stop everything. Don't put anybody in, don't get her rushed through the Senate. Don't do any of that. Just let it be. That's what everybody is saying right now. But let me read this again because it looks as if they were saying that she had it again. Okay, so announced the nomination of Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court, who has since tested positive for the contagious respiratory virus. Conway was photographed in the first several rows without a face mask. Huh. Well, I don't think so. Now, this week, if we look at your second stimulus check, it just moved another step nearer. These people with this money. I can't get over these people with this money. If these people don't stop with this money, I don't understand it. Where's the last money? That's what I want to know. Where is that money? Where's the leftover from that money? I didn't get none of it. Did you get any of it, Proverb Nation? And if you did, was it enough? These people and this money, I don't understand what's wrong with these folks. And this lady today, I don't know if anybody heard this woman today, but did you hear what she said about the president now taking it serious? Did you hear her, what she said about him, with the masks and all this other stuff? But this very same lady was the woman who was traipsing around town without a mask. She did not have on a mask. This was around her neck, but she didn't have that on when she was getting her hair did. She did not have on no mask. This lady here was in there walking around. I wonder if we could find it. I wonder if we could find the video or she has the internet scrubbed yet. Let's see here. Let's see what we come up with. Okay, let's see here. Pelosi. Okay, Pelosi at the getting her hair did. Getting her hair done. Yeah, getting her hair cut. There she go. Let's see if we can find it somewhere. Now, see here, this was funny to me because this day here she went out and she blamed it on somebody else. So let's see what we can find. See if we can find a video. Oh wow, they have been pretty mean. These people, look at them. What on the planet are they doing? These people are vile and vicious and wicked. Look at this. What on the planet? What did they do? What is this? Oh my God. Oh Lord. What on the planet? There she go. There she go. There she go. Look at her. Come on now, Pelosi. Do your magic, soul sister. Walk on out. Let me see this here. If we could play this one here. Joker Pelosi. Of course. That's right. Do what she wants. Wow. Oh my Lord, these people. I tell you what, I just can't. This right here was sad. I can't believe they did this to her. I cannot believe they did this to this lady. But my only point to that is that, wow, this is the type of stuff that I am so tired of. And I'm also tired, and I'm going to say this. I am not very happy with a lot of stuff that's going on because of the fact that we can always reach back and say things like, oh, this person is so bad, or that person is so bad, or I wish that this, I wish they had we need to arrest this one. Here's what bugs me the most is when I hear about the inequities and the bad things that she has done come out of our leaders' mouths. And I'm not talking ill of anybody, even though the president is in the hospital right now. I'm not talking ill of him. I am saying the truth. If you can tell me all the evil things that she's done, if you can tell me all of the evil things that what is her name? Hillary Clinton has done. If you can tell me all of the evil things that people have done, and yet they're still walking around, what's wrong with you? If you have the power to, as you say, if they broke the law, if you have the power to incarcerate them or do what you're supposed to do, or to make sure that things are investigated with an end, other than there's no there, which is what has been going on. There's been a lot of situations where there's just been no there, and the problem with that is that don't talk about it. If you're saying that they did this, they did that, they did this and that, and yet no one's going to jail, well, then it looks like you're a part of it. That's all I'm saying. It's the same thing if you were working someplace, at a job, and all of a sudden you brought up what Bob did, and you keep talking about what Bob did for the past 2-3 years. You know what I mean? You're saying Bob does this, he's bad, he's all this other stuff. And imagine if you are the manager of Bob and you know that Bob is wrong, and then you keep telling all of the lower tiered employees that Bob's a bad guy. Well, eventually they're going to start looking at you like you are a problem. Am I right? I mean, I can't see it any other way. And so when the president this past week mentioned all of the things that he said that, his opponent Biden did, okay, so yes, a lot of us have seen those videos of him saying the things that he did. But then when you sit there and you say, well, why did this happen? Well, why did that happen? If you have the power to do what you need to do to cancel all of that out, then do it. If not, quit telling us about it, because all it does is makes us angry. And then we have people who are on the other side that are in our family, chewing us up, arguing with us. And then we're trying to defend what we believe based on truth, based on facts, based on documented evidence, if we've looked these things up, because a lot of the stuff that he said the other night was evident. You can look and find this stuff. But here comes the problem. The problem becomes, let me look at you, because all you're doing is telling me this stuff, making me get upset. And I don't feel like getting upset right now. What I feel like is having some results. Because way back in 2016, when I voted for you to give results based on the things that you said you were doing, because I couldn't stand seeing all of the children go through the things that they went through, because I couldn't stand understanding that all of this stuff was being done at the expense of the American people with our dollars, then I'm upset with you now, because when you got in, you didn't do what you said you were going to do. The great things that he has done, okay, great, that's fine. But not when it comes down to, excuse me, blatant crime. If something is blatant and it's crime, I'm looking for you to fix it. That's what I'm looking for. So if I'm going to vote for you based on the fact that you are saying you don't agree with all these terrible things, see, here's the problem. This is where he messed up. When 2016 was around and he was saying all that stuff, whenever he went to all of those rallies, he was pouring water on a dry land. Everybody wanted to hear him say these things, and we wanted these things to be done and fixed. We wanted our country to start to move in a better direction. Okay, so you came, you said those things, we heard it. Now the problem is, my friend, you've been in there 3.5, almost 4 years. And all that stuff, you can't go back and start talking about those same exact people anymore. It does not work that way. It unfortunately does not work that way. You don't get the opportunity to now come back and tell me about Crooked Hillary and all these other folks. Don't give me none of that. Don't give me none of that, because what you're saying is a bunch of BS at this point. Why? Because you've not produced what you needed to produce. And what you needed to produce was some results. Okay? You tell us, oh, you're going to lock her up, lock her up, lock her up. Then you turn right around when you get into it, oh, they're nice people. I said, this cat said that these people was nice people. Well, which is it? She was worthy of being thrown in jail only a few months ago. Now she's nice people. I'm going to tell you why she's nice people. Because folks are not waking up to the fact that there are two sides to the exact same coin. If I've given this description before, and let's just use the job situation again. If you've got upper tier management and then you've got the workers, you've got the CEO, CFO, COO, you got all those cats up top, and then you've got all the workers that are down below. Well, you expect that if there is stuff that's happening up at the top, that down below, that things would be run correctly too. So now you up here at the top and you still doing all this other stuff. And now we looking at you like, yo, wait a minute. You guys are all up there together. And there you go, Jedi mind. Proverb Nation said the Jedi mind trick. Yeah, you're like, wait a minute, what the what? What is really going on with you? You started out by saying you were going to throw this person away because they did wrong. You got evidence of their wrong. Now you're telling us, well, there's nothing you can do. But aren't you the owner of the company? Aren't you the CEO? Aren't you the person who runs it? Well, then if you see them stealing the oranges out the refrigerator every day, you've got video evidence of the orange thieving, then you need to go and rectify the situation. Why are you coming here and tell us every other day that Bob is stealing the oranges out the refrigerator? You got video evidence. Throw his behind out of here, do something. But it doesn't work like that, it appears. It appears like all of our money gets tossed to the side, and all they are doing is building us up with animosity, anger, frustration, and meanness towards each other, while they are done getting on the set. I consider the TV, every news station, I consider that the set. They get on the set, they talk about the other person, and then this one talks about that one, but they're opposite sides of each other in our faces. Then they each get off the set, close or end scene, and then they wander off into the darkness together, and next time you see them, they're eating or drinking together, or somebody's at somebody's baby shower, or somebody is over here at somebody's wedding. You know what I'm saying? Or they bump into each other at the Hamptons and you see them taking pictures together. That's the type of ish I'm talking about. And that's the type of stuff I'm tired of. I'm not going to be, just because I voted for somebody does not mean that I don't have the right to say, I see you. I see what you're doing, and what you're doing is not cool. Okay? It's not good. So that's how I feel. I feel like right now we are hearing and seeing a lot of stuff. And now, as you say with the Jedi mind trick, he's tried to do the Jedi mind trick. And I think that there's a little bit more to what's going on with him being in the hospital. I'm going to just tell you what I think. And this is my gut. And I could be so wrong. I could be as wrong as two left shoes. But there's a couple of things that could be happening right now. He could be hiding out in the cut. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they was going to go in there and get a brother out or something, and he found out about it, and all of a sudden, yo, I got the COVID. You know what I mean? And then they take him off in the middle of the night and hide him someplace. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. All I know is this is the biggest ball of bull feces that I have seen in quite some time. I really do. I feel like this is an unbelievable mess, and I don't know how it's going to end. But I don't think that it's going to end well. I keep saying that, like I looked at this thing with Miss Pelosi, and they're one step closer to giving us a check. Keep your money. Just open up the country. Tell everybody to use precautions. Every adult, every child, let us use precautions. But just like any other disease, unfortunately, we've got to weather through it. We've got to weather through it. We've got to weather through everything that we have dealt with thus far. We have weathered through everything that we have had put in front of us, from Zika, from SARS and MERS, and all these other things that we've had to deal with. Let us keep our families safe. Let us do what we need to do, but don't pander to me with your checks. Keep your money. Keep your money. And just open up, let me make my own money. One thing I will say that is a positive about this whole entire situation is, well, you got two sides of this. The ones I'm going to only deal with the positive side. The good side is that husbands and wives that are supposed to make it, they've made it. There's been some really rocky situations that was going on before this situation. And then people who had to be stuck in the house, they've either decided one or two things. Okay, I'm going ahead and rock it with you for the next few years, or I've got to go. They've decided one of two things: having to be on lockdown with you. I've decided that either I love you, or yeah, I think it's time for us to go. Let me read your comments here. Okay. The prestige and seriousness of presidency has become a mockery. Amen to that. Amen to that. Don't you know that if we can't see what it is that's really going on, we got a problem. There is a problem. The first problem I see is I don't like the fact that all we have are two choices. You know, I'm a girl. If I go shopping for shoes, I have a mindset of what pair of shoes I want. I want a specific pair of black pumps. And I don't want them to be too high. I want them to have a sling back. I don't want them to be patent leather. I want them to be a little, soft leather, nice inch, maybe 2-inch heel. They have to be sling back. They have to cut right in the front where the toes are. And I know them when I see them. But if you bring me two shoes out, two pairs of shoes, being a girl, I'm going to be pretty frustrated, because if you're telling me these are the only two pairs of shoes that I'm going to have to choose from, then I'm looking at both of them like, okay, well, I guess I'll take the ones with the bubble tip toes. And I like a pointier toe, but I'm going to take the bubble tip. Why? Because that's better than the square tip you chose me. I want more choices. And I think we should do something to make us at a place where we can have more choices. And I think these two individuals are not good choices on either side. Listen, I'm tired of hearing people, especially Christian people, use the term, I've chosen, get this, the best of the two evils, or the greater of the two evils. I'm just going to choose the best of the two evils. If you're supposed to be a God-fearing person, why are you choosing evil at all? If you're supposed to be a God-fearing person, why are you choosing evil at all? You should not have to choose evil. We should not just have two choices, because I'm not happy with either choice. Just be honest. I'm not happy with either choice. And I don't think there's anything wrong with being honest saying that. I'm just not happy. I'm not happy. I don't know who that was in that Biden body the other day. That cat right there don't look nothing like the Biden I remember. His eyes were black. Biden's got blue eyes. His eyes were like dark brown on Tuesday night. And his earlobes were different. Yeah, I'm a girl, but I'm also hey, how's it going there, Headlines with a Voice? As a girl, I like some choices. And not only that, as a cosmetologist, I notice everything. I notice the eyebrows, I notice the ears, I notice the face, I notice the type of skin. Homeboy did not look like no Biden I've ever seen. Biden got blue eyes. That joker had brown eyes. Hey, I'm just saying. That's all I'm doing. I'm just stating the obvious. That joker had, hey, T. Tricia. That joker had, hey there, Black Spring. Black Spring, did you notice the eyes on Biden the other night? Oh, boy's eyes is blue. That cat's eyes was brown. So I'm just saying, I'm just looking, and I'm just saying, hey, as a girl, I notice things, and I think y'all trying to pull a fast one on me. That's exactly what I think. And if I feel like you're trying to pull a fast one on me, I'm gonna call you out just the way you need to be. I'm gonna call you out. Okay? All hell is breaking loose. All hell is breaking loose. We got planes in weird patterns. We got all kind of planes out in weird patterns now, hanging out there in the abyss. Thank you. Thank you, Black Spring. Thank you, Black Spring, as you helped me. We got all kind of planes hanging out in different weirdo areas. And I'm like, yo, I'm telling you the honest truth. The reason why you did not see a video from me dealing with him going in there is because in my gut, in my knower, I feel like somebody was coming to drag your rump out of there. and you picked up on that, and all of a sudden, I got to go. I got the COVID. I got to go. Let me get out before you come get me out. I don't know what it was, but I know it's something ain't good. There's some flies in the buttermilk. There's some flies in the buttermilk. That's exactly what there is. There's some flies in the buttermilk. And if we can't see it, something wrong with us. Something's wrong with us. I think that was a staged plan the other night. That was too raggedy for it to be anything other than planned. What I saw for those two men standing on that stage the other night was a hot rump mess. And then the culmination at the very end of the week is alert, special alert. They've got the COVID. I mean, seriously, there's something going on. And hey, I'm just an old grandmama with 13 grandchildren. And I'm just saying what I feel in my gut. Something ain't right. Okay. And Kellyanne Conway. Yes, ma'am. We just read about her over yonder on this side. We just did that over here when we pulled up a screen. She's sick too. But now, wait a minute. Nancy Morgan Hart, if anybody else as well knows about this, we just also got through reading, and that was my Ride or Die, Proverb Nation. We just got through seeing that also it said that Amy Coney Barrett was infected, because I know they said she had the infection this past summer. And as Proverb Nation and I were reading, it said that she was reinfected. Yeah, he got up out of there because he had Proverb Nation say, yeah, he got out of there because he had on two different shoes. She said Proverb Nation said he had on a penny loafer and an alligator shoe. Oh my God. One penny loafer and one alligator. Hey, those are pretty. You can cash both of those in. You can cash the penny loafer in and take out that penny, and you can cash that alligator. So wherever he went, he got some, he stacks on deck. He got some cash on hand. Okay? But I'm just tired of the circus, man. I'm just tired of the circus. I feel like I'm on a carousel at the, at the circus, just going around and around and around. And I'm like, damn it, please just let me off. Tell you what, y'all go ahead and figure this out over there in the corner. Just give me a chunk of land and let me go be me. I don't want to have anything else to do with the circus anymore. And that's exactly why I said, yes, let's just do a quick recap. But I don't want to do anything fake and say, oh, well, I'm going to just go on ahead and do this and do this. Yes. Do we need to pray for our nation? Absolutely. Do we need to pray for the president? Absolutely. Do we need to pray for our neighbors and everybody else around us? Abso-freaking-lutely. But I don't want you to lie to me anymore. If you say you were going to lock somebody up and you didn't, don't speak on that person again. He brought her up on this past Tuesday. Don't speak on that person again if you did not do your due diligence to zap them and put them away. Because all you're doing now is bringing up and pouring salt in a wound that has not healed, because you duped me. Okay? You duped me. You said you were going to do X and you didn't do it. Now I'm sitting here looking and wondering, why are you still talking to me about this person? Don't bring her name up no more. And I'm not one of these people. Listen, I divorced the dude I had 4 kids with. So you already know I'm going to say something bad about you if all I did was cast a vote for you and you tripping. Yeah. Yeah. I married Mr. Messed Up and had 4 kids for Mr. Messed Up. So you can best believe that if I left Mr. Messed Up after 20 years, baby, you already know you can be easily talked about. And I love him dearly, but I'm sorry, I don't like the direction that things are going. And I feel like it's them against us. I hate to say that. I really do. I don't feel like there is the right against the left. I think it's them against the human beings. There was an old rap song years ago, and I'm not sure if it was NWA or if it was one of the rappers, Ice Cube. I think he said, there is no just us, it's just us. There is no justice, it's just us. Yeah, it's just us. And that's how I feel right now. It's like, yeah, you guys already know what's really going on. That's why all of y'all getting up out of Dodge and hiding and running Okay. And you're leaving us out here, but could you at least drop me a hint? Could you at least tell me what's really going on? That's what I'd like to know. I'd like to know what's really going on, but I don't think we're going to find out. And again, I do not feel like this situation is going to be one that's going to end well. I feel like today was possibly a coup attempt, and I am nobody. When I say that, I mean I ain't nothing but the grandmama. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. I don't know nothing. All I'm telling you is what my gut told me this morning when I woke up. Excuse me. That's all I know. That's what I know. I know that what my gut told me this morning, okay, was quite fishy. All right, it's fishy. Something's wrong. It's like, let me get on up out of Dodge before y'all come in here and do something crazy. Let me run. And that's what I feel like. So I could be wrong. I pray God I am, because I would hate to think that he would do that. But listen, hey, like I said, I imagine now every time some of them go on TV, I say that's their set and they are acting. Because when they get off set, they end scene, they go on about their business, and that's what it is. Now, I have and will continue to speak against anything that is wrong. If it is wrong, I'm going to speak against it. I will not be so beholden to a person that I voted for that when I see something wrong, I am going to not say anything. No, if you effed up, you effing up. Period. If you're messing up, you're messing up. And as far as Tuesday night was concerned, I felt like he was sick then, but I just counted it to him being tired. Okay. Yes, it is staggering. It is. It's the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh, okay. Love you, precious. All right, Nancy Morganhart. So to me, it's like, yeah, you went in there, you had that big old baggy suit on, you stood up there and you argued instead of just listening. And you could have done a lot if you had just allowed this man to talk. But now, where we are right now, I really feel as if we are lame ducks because people are waiting with bated breath to come after us as a country now. It's like the chicken in the rooster. You know what I mean? Hey, Dennis, Supermod, Maynard, how y'all doing? I'm so glad you are here to support me. That means a lot. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I appreciate you for being here. I was just saying that I felt like, you know, this whole thing is not going to end well. I just think that we all need to really just be prayed up. Have you ever had your car being fixed or something being fixed and you had a slight inclination as to how it could be rectified, and you just decided to take this thing, whatever it is, into a professional, and you say, here, I just want you to fix it. And then you realize that while they're doing it, that they really don't know what they're doing with it. And so you say, it's okay, just let me try it. And you take it back. That's the place that I feel that I'm in right now. I feel that I'm in the place that says, let me just take this back and let me handle this myself. I would like to see a smaller government. I would like to see a government that is not digging in my pocket every time you turn around. Every time I turn around, there is something that I have to pay for. If I purchase a car, then the next year I've got to pay a tax on that again just to get my tags. And then I've got to pay insurance. And then I've got to pay for everything else that goes along with it. That's just the standard wear and tear, right? My point is the government has its hands in everything. I simply want to live and exist. And once I pay for something, let it be it. Okay. When I owned my salons in Georgia, I had all of my equipment in there. Now, obviously, that was a business. However, being that it was a business, they taxed me every so often on every hair dryer, on every pair of shears, every pair of clippers, on every seat, every chair, every station, everything. I was taxed ad nauseum. Okay, so that was a business. I get it. Now, why are regular standard people taxed the way we are? And then you see no results from that. Okay, you see no results from where the monies are going. I have a problem with that. I have a big problem with that because I go to work simply to pay you in every facet. Why didn't I agree with the whole Obamacare thing? I'm going to break it down and tell you why. Because I hear a lot of people having a lot of things to say about it. I'm going to tell you why I did not agree with it. And I know there were a lot of people in the Black community who really honestly wanted it. They really, really wanted it. All right. Oh, we want to have this medical. Please give us the medical. We need the medical. And then after they got that tax bill because they couldn't afford the medical, or like one of my friends who had a job, but the medical that she had did not qualify her for whatever reason. I don't know what she picked or chose. She ended up with this huge bill. Single woman, like a $1,753 bill at the end of the year because she did not have taxes. Now, I don't know what it was. I don't know all the logistics. Okay, I really don't. But I do know she had a $1,753 bill. And everybody thought that the insurance, the Obamacare, was going to be laced in gold because it had been sold to them by a silver-tongued gentleman. Well, if it's laced in gold, let's give him a platinum tongue, right? So that it's a little one step down. We'll give him the gold. We'll say it was laced in gold, and he had the platinum tongue. But here's what that really is. Think about it. If I make you have to have insurance, and then I make sure that there is very little competition. At first, it was a bunch of competition, but then they all started bailing out, right? Now I have you where you got to have it. And now that means you've got less people that can offer you a service, which means we're dwindling away the competition. And you and I both know if there's no competition, the prices go sky high. That's what they ended up getting. They ended up getting insurance that was crap and that was sky high. All right. Now, here's an irony. Excuse me. A few years ago, I had to have a surgery. I am a woman of a certain age, and I'm just going to put it on out there. I had to, unfortunately, have a hysterectomy. But do you know that when I spoke to the lady over the phone, the woman told me that, well, if you were X, Y, or Z, you could have had that for free, the hysterectomy. I said, I'm sorry, what? She said, oh yeah, there are some divisions of insurance now that Obamacare has come out that will give you, if you want to have your reproductive health altered and you are healthy, they will take it out for free. Let that sink in, because I did. I sat there and I listened to that lady say that, and I was absolutely mortified. Anything that they wanted to do to prevent you from having humans, it was free. Think about that. So, back to the point of having the insurance and having no competition. If you've got no competition and the only person who they can charge is you, how much more money are you going to be paying? Let me tell you something. I have found better service going to an exceptional urgent care if I had a sniffle. Okay? If I have a sniffle, I have been better off taking $190 out of my pocket, going to an urgent care, paying the urgent care doctor. They gave me my medication. This was a year ago. They gave me medicine. She did a good, very good checkup. She did even a chest X-ray. She did all these great things, and it was $190. I was done. I paid for the medication. I went on about my business. What's the problem with that? I bet you one thing, if you remove all of the things that they want to do for free, like free education, if we did not have problems with education until we started the whole entire division of the education for federal government. As soon as we got that, you removed all of the opportunity for other colleges and universities to compete for my dollar. Because now they already know that they got the whole entire government is the Department of Education now, right? So you got the Department of Education, and they're going to foot the bill. You're not going to have cheap education if you want to go to college. You're not going to have it cheap. Why? Because they already know that if you're meeting a certain dollar amount per annum, or your family members are meeting a certain dollar amount per annum, then you're going to end up needing those loans, no matter what kind of loan it is. Okay? And that means the competition is gone, right? Now everybody's going to charge the government, and that's who's going to pay. So all of this stuff where people are trying to get folks to say, "Oh yeah, yeah, free healthcare, free this, free that." You better get your boots or put your sneakers on and get ready to run. You better run. You'd better run because you cannot afford to live that way. We cannot afford to live in a manner where everything is free. Don't y'all know somebody gonna pay? And they pander it to the Black community all the time. Free, free, free. Oh, free education, free medical, free this, free that. There's nothing on this planet that's for free. Haven't you been paying out of the wazoo all this time? Has it been free? You've been paying out of the ears all this time. It's not been free. Has it? You've been paying. So imagine now that they're going to give it to you. Now, well, who you think going to pay? We've been paying in taxes, tax, tax, tax. You're driving around raggedy roads. Jackson, Mississippi has the worst roads I've been on in a while. But Jackson, Mississippi has taxed and taxed and taxed their people ad nauseum. They can't tax them anymore. But if you think you're going to drive down one of those major roads in the inner city of Jackson, Mississippi, at anything above a slow crawl, you've got another thing coming. It's not going to happen. You're living in a pipe dream. Please, quickly, wake her up. Wake him up. Wake up. Because the taxes are not going to the infrastructure. And every single president most recently has been speaking infrastructure. And Obama spoke infrastructure until he was blue in the face. And I don't know whether anybody remembered that. Infrastructure was what we heard, and there's still nothing fixed. There's a problem in this system, you guys. That's what I'm trying to say for all of us. There's a problem. We need to, when somebody is offering something for free, step back. And here's the thing about us. We have always been the most curious people when somebody offers us something. We always say, wait a minute, it's how much, man? You trying to sell me this guitar for how much? Man, this is a Fender. How are you going to sell me this guitar for $25? What's wrong with it? That's the first thing we want to ask. That's the first thing we want to ask. Black people are notorious. We are notorious for saying, what's wrong with it? People are notorious for saying, what's wrong with it? It doesn't matter what color you are. So what I'm trying to say is, tell your family and friends, tell everybody that with all of us just passing out these little flyers for this cat or that cat saying it's all going to be free. Oh, we need all of this to be, look at our medical, look at this and that. You guys, what we need is a little kick of, what do you call it, competitiveness. We need some competition. We need some competition. We need another party that's going to do something that's going to get some stuff right. We need something to shake it up. We need something to shake things up. Because the two geriatrics that we have right now, and I did vote for Trump, and I am bold in saying it. I believed in everything he said. I believe what he stood for. And I believe that as much as he could, he did do some good things. And I will not take that from him. The things that he's done that are good, that I am aware of on paper, I will stand behind because it is documented and I saw the evidence of it. Okay. I have to be fair. But the stuff that's things that I don't agree with right now, conversely, I have to speak up for that. So what I need to see is, first of all, the boat has stopped at this point. Wouldn't you all agree that the boat has literally stopped? There's nothing going anywhere. They're not even going to allow Amy Coney Barrett to go on to the, Maynard says, I've lived long enough to know nothing is free. There's always a catch. Absolutely. Amy Coney Barrett will not get confirmed. I don't think so. I hope so, but they're saying that she's not now. Okay. You got Amy, you got Conway out there sick. Everybody who was in the Rose Garden, they're saying is sick. But here's the deal, you guys, and I hate to be the conspiracy balloon popper. All right. How do we know that all of these people really did test positive? I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just asking a quick question. Doesn't it seem a bit convenient? But then again, let me close that door. I digress. I'll back away. Okay? But for me to see everything that I'm seeing right now, I don't know what's going to happen, y'all. Because to me, Nancy Pelosi looks like she's just chopping at the bit. Oh my, chafing of the hands again. Oh my, what are we going to do? I can't wait. I just can't wait to go on ahead and put my little patootie in the seat of the White House. Okay. Now, I'm not sure if anybody saw the interview that she had earlier this morning. Okay. Super, super convenient. Absolutely, it was. Okay. I'm not sure if anybody saw her give her half tailed, concerned uh, interview this morning, but she slipped almost. Well, she didn't slip. She came right out. Now, it could be a Freudian slip, but she came right out. Oh, yes. She came right out and she says, yes, the young lady says, well, with continuity of government, are you prepared? You could easily be, basically, and I'll paraphrase her here, you could easily be in the White House right now. And she goes, well, no, that's up to the military, up to the government. I said, yeah, I smell a coup. Y'all was trying to get that man up out of there. That's what you guys was trying to do. But I'm gonna say this about the president. I'm gonna give him his kudos. Okay, this man is a very smart, tactical person. Now he's made a lot of gaffes. But then again, I want you guys to put yourselves in his position just for a quick second, because what I had to do is I had to step back the other day because I got so angry after the debate. And the reason why I got angry is because I did not want to see him losing his cool the way that he did. What I did was I put myself in his situation and I said, what would I do if I had everybody attacking me on every side? And then I thought about it. Well, I already know me. I'm going to start windmilling. And whoever I hit, too bad that you was in the way. If I got you and you wasn't supposed to get got, I'm sorry. I'll apologize later. But right now, I'm trying to survive. So, being that he had been poked and prodded like a piñata over the past 4 years almost, okay, one tragedy after another, whether you believe that they were right or you believe that they were wrong, he was windmilling when he finally got up there Tuesday. And if the situation surrounding this virus is any truth to it, then you automatically know that his body was exhausted. He was exhausted. Clearly, he did not look his sharp self. I would have said, oh yes, most assuredly. I would have said, okay, you know what? I'm going in. Let me go ahead on and get me a bespoke suit. Clearly, he's got the money. He's got the tailors. I would have had a bespoke suit. I would have had my hair cut. I would have put some of that orange Cheeto flour he puts around the edges sometimes. I would have put me some Cheeto flour in my hair. I would have put my bespoke suit on, and I would have strutted on out there. Yo, hey, what's going on, man? Yeah, what's going on? Because you already know what Biden was going to say. Come on, man. I would have said, yo, man. And then I would have stood there and let him hang himself, because he can only listen to that little person in his ear for so long. Okay? He could only listen to that person in his ear for just so long. And Chris Wallace didn't know what to do, Proverb Nation, because Chris Wallace is a two-faced pony soldier. I'm gonna coin a phrase. He was a lying two-faced pony soldier, whatever he called him. You know what I mean? Oh my God. Are you kidding me, Nancy? Nancy just said the Trump campaign manager has COVID. You guys, they're coming for us. That's what's up. I'm going to tell y'all that right now. We all sitting around here wondering what's really going on. That's what's really going on. There's some stuff that's awry. There's some stuff that is awry. All right? But that's what I would have done to him. This is the fall of the empire. Absolutely. You made me spit up your beer. Oh, the last slide. You see what I'm saying? But I'm telling you the honest truth. This right here is one of those situations where we really do have to watch our backs. We really do have to watch, because we really don't know what's going on. We honestly don't know, but we do know that it is time, and we're coming to the middle of the end of the year, the middle end fall part. You know what I'm saying? We're October now. We're coming in November. There's going to be some stuff that's going to happen this month that's going to blow our minds. I truly honestly tell you, if you think what we've seen already is something, I honestly believe that we're headed for something. So here's what we need to do. We need to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves. Okay. Damn, Dick Gregory. What are you talking about? Okay. We need to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. We need to make sure that we have the food that we need to have in our houses. And you guys, I'm going to tell you something. It's not so much about protecting yourselves when you go out. When you in your house, you're going to have to look out. Okay? All right? You're going to have to watch stuff when you in your house. And I'm not sure. I told my husband the other week, I was like, yo, it looks like we may be trying to make some plans to have something prepared so we can just roll out. Because you better have something. You guys, it's time to take care of yourself. Because it's apparent that whatever's going on, what you've been feeling in your gut is about to come to pass. It's about to come to pass. And it don't matter if you black, purple, yellow, or orange. This whole black and white thing was created to keep us confused. If you look at it right now, all of this black over here fighting and white over here fighting, and they arguing in the middle, and this one getting beat up in the streets, and this one shooting that one in the streets, and everybody having an opinion about it, all it does is keep you distracted. This is the shell and ball game. Okay? Yes, he is. Yes, he is, old head deuce. He is. I see that, and I believe that. Okay? But this is a shell and ball game. That's exactly what this is. Y'all better get it together. Get yourselves together. Get yourselves together. When Trump went to Duluth, and being original, from there, it's cold up there. Weather change can make you sick easy. And you know what, Maynard? I agree with that. It can make you sick quicker, but here's my thing. A change in climate can make you ill. But will it give you this? No. But here's what I'm going to say this, you guys. If somebody carries it around in a vial, it can certainly go inside of your beverage, your food, or in your nose or whatever. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to back up out of that. I'm going to say that right there. Okay? Okay? Yeah, Dick Gregory was a very smart cat. He knew a lot. I doubt he's gone, to be candid. But yeah, so right now, you guys, it's time for us to take care of ourselves, take care of our families, make sure that we are looking around and making sure that everything is all right. Don't be going out to no big events. Don't be going out. I'm telling you, because you don't know what's really up. Since you don't know what's really up, then I suggest you stay at the house. I'm going to say that. I'm not saying be afraid. I'm not saying, oh my God, the COVID's going to get you. I'm not saying that. I'm saying use good common sense, because right now it's something that's going on that none of us know about. Yes, the sheep are distracted, very distracted. And that's the problem, is that once you get all that distraction going on, you guys look at some old sheep videos. If you really do study the sheep, you'll see why God equates us to the sheep. Okay, sheep are easily led astray when they do not listen to the master, their master's voice. Okay, sheep are easily led astray when they do not tend to the master's voice, when they don't hearken or heed to the master's voice. All right. That's what my point is. And we as a nation have gotten so far away from God. We have turned so far away from him, and we've done it willingly. We willingly sacrificed the things that we knew was right and wrong. Okay? And if you guys study the sheep, I forgot the name of this one sheep. Oh my goodness. I wish my friend from Australia were here. Perhaps he would know, or maybe somebody in the chat does. There's one sheep, you guys, and it's actually, it's like a dog, but they put like a sheep's head on it. It's not a real sheep. And they stick it in there, and it walks around with the rest of the sheep. But it can actually bite at their ankles and nip at them to make them, do what they want them to do. Anyway, I can't think of the name of it, but it's a specific type of Oh, goodness gracious. I'm going to look it up. But it's like a fake sheep. It's like a wolf sheep or some type of sheep, but it's not a real sheep. It's like a dog. And the shepherd has put this thing on him and it makes him wander around. Yeah, sheep are dumb animals. Truly understand the comparison. Yeah, and that's us. We actually think that white people are our enemy. I got some black folks that's been I got some black folk that after 6 o'clock, I ain't opening the door for you, player. You can't even knock on my door after 6 o'clock in the evening. And that's some black folk. But they actually have us believing that we are enemies of one another. And I have had some people in my life that are of the other persuasion that have blessed me immeasurably. And I have in turn blessed them as well. Okay? Don't get all caught up in that stuff. Look around you. Okay? You see what I'm saying? All right? Look around you. Understand what we're dealing with. So it's coming up here on an hour and 10 minutes, you guys. I had a pretty unique week. And I just thought I would come on here and talk about some of the recaps and how everybody right now is just dropping and dropping and dropping. I mean, everywhere you turn around, is somebody else getting sick, somebody else, getting ill, somebody else is going in the hospital. Now look at this right here, you guys. It just says, and let me see here, virtual campaign. Obviously, all Trump elections events have been moved online or postponed after the president's COVID diagnosis. The president and the first lady, obviously, we already know this piece, have tested positive. And the elections, oh, well, the campaign manager shared in a statement to the Donald J. Trump campaign website. Previously announced events, obviously, are all going to be canceled. They're temporarily postponed. Dude, you ain't got but 30 days. Vice President Mike Pence, who has tested negative for COVID, plans on resuming his scheduled campaign events. Okay, yeah, we got some problems. We got some problems. They're scrambling. God bless them. They're scrambling. Okay, I promise something is hiding in those white ranks. That's right. We know them by their fruit. That's right. We know people by the fruit that they bear. And so therefore, we're not going to allow ourselves to buy into this guy's the enemy, that guy's the enemy. We're going to deal with people based on how they treat us. You treat me crazy, then hey, I know to get away from you. But if you treat me good and we cool, we cool. All right, 33 days at that. All right, Amanda Jean. All right. You feel me. You feel me. Before we leave, does anybody want to come on and share their thoughts? Because I can give you guys a link. Let me put the link down here. I'm going to give you guys a link. Copy the link so somebody can come in and say something. All right, all right. Let me see, can we say something? Y'all want to say something? Before we leave, look at me trying to act like I'm grown, staying up a little longer. Somebody grab that link. If you guys want to come on here, say something. I love old head Deuce. Dennis, you want to come on? Anybody, whoever's left. We ain't got but 7 of us in here. We may as well have a party. We may as well have a party, y'all. I don't know if you guys want to say something. There's a link right down there before we get out of here. If you guys want to have a holler or say anything, let me see who's still here. Old head Deuce, you still in here or you gone? Maynard, you want to holler? Maynard's probably gone too because it is getting late and I'm old, y'all. So I already know I'm ready to go. Amanda Jean. Amanda, come on. Pick up that link. Who that? All right. It's my girl, Black Spring. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes. Can you hear me?
Hear you. So what do you have to say? What you think is going on?
Uh,
Oh.
it's a little thick. At this point, it's like a movie. I think that we're watching. I honestly I think all bets are off. The Lockhart perspective, and I'm just thinking, any tin hat I can wear. I'm just think I've worn them all out. They've all I've worn them all out, and it's kind of sad because I think something that you mentioned earlier as to from a global perspective, the entire world is watching this, and it's this is ahistorical to history, but it's not to the rest of the world. The other nations that were purely democracies, they've already fallen to coups and their last free and fair election. Even you can go back to Nazi Germany. They didn't know some of them knew, or some of them didn't know that they had voted in their last fair election before Hitler came to power. So I just think we're about to I think that this is a revolution that's going to leave us in a different place. It's just not going to be the same anymore. I think
Absolutely.
I think we're at a loss, and it's disheartening to see, and it's embarrassing to see. It's embarrassing to see what's happened. That incomprehensible, debate the other night. I don't even know if I would call that a debate. I just can't.
Yes.
And so that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm holding back because it's just a lot.
I don't know why you holding back. You need to just go head on and let it out. What you got to say, Dennis?
First off, I gotta say I'm really, really impressed, and I understand now why your show is called The Lockhart Perspective, because just listening to some of the things that you were saying really kind of altered my perspective on what I've thought to be correct or what I thought to be logical and things of that nature. So actually listening to you really opened my mind a little bit. Truth of the matter is we're just living in difficult times. And one thing that you said tonight really, really stuck out to me is that we can only work with the information that we are given from them. One thing you point out in particular is that this could be a situation where we don't know. We don't know if Trump got coronavirus. We don't know if these things are happening. We're just victims of going off of things that we hear. And like you said, I clearly understand why God equated us to sheep, because we're not the brightest. At least not acting. At least a lot of us are not the brightest. I know in some areas I'm not the brightest. So I do understand that. I just really, really, and I do agree with you too. Something big is about to happen, and I think it's something that's about to happen that we don't see, or that's going to blindside us. But I'm just praying that. The Bible says that times are going to get worse, and I believe that because the Bible says it. But at this point in time, Lockhart Perspective, I'm really focused on me and my family's well-being, my kids, and things of that nature, because a lot of this stuff that is going on now that does have a direct influence on us, we can't control it.
No, we can't control it. We can't control it. And I agree with everything you just said, Dennis. Excuse me, because the fact that we can't control it is a piece of it. So this is a two-pronged fork, right? It doesn't even have the normal 4 prongs. It's a 2-pronged fork. Even though we don't know how to control it. Lord have mercy. Please say somebody living in Inglewood or living right by an airport.
That's me. I'm sorry.
I was about to say, good night, Irene. Duck, everybody.
I know they're coming right now.
I'm about to say, flights about 70% off now, so it's the perfect time to be traveling.
Now, Maynard just said something in the chat. He said, I see Kellyanne Conway just tested positive too. Definitely. Okay. But here's the thing. It's a 2-pronged thing. No, we can't control it, but we can get informed. And if we can now sit here and honestly say that we can see that over the past several months, there has been man-made division to divide the masses. You see, let me tell you something. The easiest way to get in and get what you want out of a crowd of people is to divide them. Have you ever worked on a job where it was a new boss and all of a sudden things started seeming a little crazy, where you guys were all getting along and you all had your systems and everybody knew their job and they did it, but they still laughed and they had a good time when they came to work? This new chick or this new cat comes in and all of a sudden people are bickering at each other and everybody doesn't seem to understand. But the one thing you do know is you did not have a problem until he or she came along. Their job is to divide so they can gain control. Okay? Their job is to divide so they can gain control. So if I tell you that both of your white neighbors on the right side of you, they don't like you, you trust me because I look like you. Okay? But your neighbors on the right side of you ain't even tripping on you. They've been waving at you for the past 5 years. Okay? Your little dog ran out the backyard one day and they brought it to the porch. You ain't never had no problems with them. But now
they brought a welcome pie when you moved into the neighborhood.
You see what I'm saying? And so they've created now something. Now you got divisiveness. And here's the thing about bad news. It spreads fast. And not only does it spread fast, but it will also divide asunder. It will divide. Bad news, gossip, lies, people gain opinions and they want to run and hear what else is happening. And the bad part about it is nobody ever investigates to find the truth. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the fact that nobody is giving out the truth. And here's the sad piece. As soon as you do bring the truth and you say, well, wait a minute now, this happened and that happened, and here's the documentation, or here is this, or here's this person saying it on video out of their own mouth, people are not going to listen to you. Now they're going to consider you a weirdo. They're going to consider you a conspiracy theorist. They're going to consider you a Oreo. Like we said the other night, they're going to consider you an Uncle Tom. I'm not being an Uncle Tom if I can tell you what the truth is. All right? I don't have a problem with nobody.
Right.
If I ain't got no problem, I ain't got no problem. Don't come up here making one where there is none. But I tell you one thing they can do. They can definitely infiltrate as soon as there is division. And once you've got division, that's it. So now that we're at the end of the year, now that we're all here in October, it looks a little bit like, yeah, I don't think this is fitting right. Something... like you just said, something about to happen. Amanda, hello and good evening. Come on, jump
Hi,
on
Ms.
in.
Lockhart.
Hi. Okay, go ahead. Tell us what's on your mind.
Well, I found you from the EYA channel, so
I'm so glad you did.
yeah, I definitely see the Bible changes. I mean, that was crazy for me. So I don't know what to expect. It's going to be something I don't expect. I mean, just, the Lord is a mystery.
Amen. That is the truth.
I think a lot of people see what's going on. I do. There's definitely a lot of division going on with everybody, but I think there is a lot of people who see the BS. And I hope, and I really hope that, it's just like everybody's kind of staying silent, but when you get cornered, you're going to have to stand up sometime.
Yes, that's absolutely right. We're going to start windmilling. You see what I'm saying? But see, I'm the person that will windmill for the underdog. If it's somebody and I see you picking on that person, I don't care if that person is purple. If they're going to fight you back, I'm going to help them.
Right, you gotta help the innocent people.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute, you picking on him or her? I don't care if they purple, man. Get away from that person. Leave them alone. So I'll be out there windmilling. But this is the deal. Right now, we're going to have to windmill for our families. We're going to have to windmill, first of all, for righteousness and for God, because that's really what's under attack. It's an attack good against evil.
Absolutely.
What do you think?
All right.
Thank
Well,
you,
well,
Dennis.
long,
Go ahead, say more.
oh, you about to go? We about to go?
No, I said you can say more.
I would love to pose a question.
Okay, go ahead.
What can we do as individuals to offset the narrative of what's going on to put a positive spin on these types of situations or the times that we're in? What
I
do
can
you
say
think
that in
we can
one
do as
word.
individuals to go ahead?
Educate. We must educate ourselves. It
Amen.
is our responsibility to dig deep. Ask Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, to reveal truth to you. You see, the job of the Paraclete, the Holy Spirit, the teacher, is to teach. But rarely do we ask the Holy Spirit to teach us. You feel me? We rarely ask the Holy Spirit to teach us what we need to know. We don't do it. What we do is we run around based on how we feel, based on what we know about the Bible, based on what we know about the Word. But eventually, that does not work if you are not allowing the Holy Spirit to teach. So when something seems like, here's the funny thing, Dennis, here's the funny thing. We'll all get this check in our gut that something about what we just heard wasn't right. And we go, oh, well, it was on the TV, so they can't lie. But see, if you did not know that there was a law that was passed many years ago that said our media could not lie to us and give the American people propaganda that they were giving to other countries, that they could not use that tactic on the American people. If you did not know that there was that law first put in place, and then later, years later, circa, I want to say 2008, 2010, or even 12, that law was reversed. And they said, okay, now you can lie to the American people, but you didn't know that that law was there. What would you say if I told you there was a law like that and then they changed that law, Dennis? Did you know that existed?
I actually did. I did.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
it's it's crazy. I feel like one thing that most lies have in common is that what lies do a lot of the time is to protect someone in wrongdoing. I think the
Mm-hmm.
media is allowed to lie to us so they could be protected on something else that they're doing. I think it's all about for them protection.
Well,
If
there's only
I go to my
six.
if
Go ahead.
if I go to the kitchen and I steal a cookie out the cookie jar and my mama told me not to do it, and my mom already know I took the cookie, and she says, "You know what, Dennis? Why did you take the cookie out of the cookie jar?" Or she asks, "Did you take the cookie from the cookie jar?" I'm probably going to say no because I want to be protected from the consequences that might follow me taking the cookie. So I really think some of that is really what's going on with the news media and things of that nature. And I think the lies have been that law has been implemented too to keep us at odds with each other's. Because when we're at odds with each other's and when we're fighting each other's, we take our eyes off what's really going on. And when we're fighting each
Mm.
other, that frees their job. Their job is to get us to fight each other's. Then we're fighting each other's. That alleviates them from that particular job, so they can move on to something else while we're
Come
still
on.
fighting.
That's it. That is it. And that's why I say I don't have a problem with white folks. I ain't got a problem with pink people. I don't have a problem with Asian people. In every single group of individuals, there have been bad people that have done some vicious things. Okay? And as long as sin is in this earth realm, people are going to do some sinful things, right? But when people outside come inside and they begin to create confusion, havoc, hatred, and all these other things, just like Dennis just said, you better watch out, because somebody's trying to cause some confusion for control. And just like Proverb Nation said in the chat just now, we need to use discernment. And the spirit of discernment is to give us enlightenment, is to open our eyes to a situation or to a circumstance, right? That's what it's for. But we have got to remember that that's what it's for. Okay? So you guys,
Beautiful.
I'm going to bring some other people in that might want to come because we're pretty full. Who wants to leave and allow somebody else to come in? Black Spring, you staying here because you're one of my mods.
I would be glad to leave, but I just want to say I thoroughly enjoyed your channel tonight, and I just appreciate all that you do. Local Perspective.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad, Dennis. Thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate you. Amanda, did you have anything else that you wanted to share with us tonight, homegirl?
I just wanted to say from my personal experience, for me to get the truth, if I go to God first, I get the answer. But if I don't and try to, use my own human understanding or even Google it or anything, then it's going to be harder for me to get the answer, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. It does. That makes a lot of sense.
Which is my own fault, because I didn't go to him first. So now he's going to kind of let me figure it out, or maybe I have to pray a little bit more about it. I mean, just like even with I don't know if y'all believe in a flat earth, but I do. And when I heard it, I was like, what? I was like, and I went straight to the Lord with it because I could see both perspectives. We were taught this way. But I could also see what other people were saying, like how they were observing things that didn't make sense. And so I just I would never be able to figure this out on my own. So I went straight to him, and then I had a dream about it, and it was crazy. He showed me that we really under a firmament, and it really, I don't know if it's necessarily completely flat earth, but it's not a ball for sure. So I just want to say from personal experience, if I go to him straight first, as soon as I wonder, I'm going to get the answer. But if I stray at any moment, then it's my own doing. So you can make bondage out of yourself if you don't go straight to him, and that's all I really wanted to say. It's still important to go to him first.
It's important to go to him first, Amanda. That is really the truth. It is important to go to him first. And listen, he's our father. So he wants to be the daddy or Abba in our lives. He wants us to talk to him first. He wants us to come and seek him first. You see, seek ye first the kingdom of righteousness. Okay. Seek ye first the kingdom of righteousness, and everything else you want, and I'm paraphrasing here, is going to be added unto you. Okay? That's right. Maynard said the only way to win is not to play their games. Put your trust in the Lord, not man. Amen. And that brings me back to all of us having to choose sides of what part of this system we want to be in. If we are in the world but not of the world, then I don't have a problem with me just backing up and letting them do their thing. Y'all go ahead and do your thing. I'm not going to be a party to this. It's a garbage show right now. Okay, bull feces show. That's what's happening right now. So I appreciate you for being here, Amanda. Thank you so much. I hope you come back again and see us.
I will. I'll probably listen for a little bit, but I'm going to get off here so someone else can get on.
All right, hang on out. Thank you now. So now, Black Spring, You sitting in
Yeah.
the cut trying to hold back, not to say what you really know. I'm gonna pull it out of you
Right,
tonight.
right. Well, I just think that, for I just think when it comes to government, and it seems that we see, what was it, KRS-One, that talks about, and I think he had the best analogy that I've heard. He kind of talked about how, how we see the president, and then we see, the Congress, and that's what we think, that's actually the height of government. But he also kind of compared it to when you go into a McDonald's and you have a problem with your sandwich. Well, first you hit that cashier, and then from there, she says, "What do you want?" And then she's not sure she can get it. So then she goes to the manager, which to me, the manager in this case would be Trump, is what he was referring to. And I just think that I don't even think that Trump is in control of all of this. I think there's a much broader scope of what's going on. And even, Trump's not in control of it all. I'm not convinced that he is. And I'm just beginning to think, could he very well be out? Could this be their way of getting him out with less than 40 days to go to this election? All the mail-in ballot controversy, all of it will end if he's out if he's fallen on his own sword, as some people say. Well, they think him getting COVID is, karma. If he's fallen on his own sword, then he's out. And I'm just saying that I'm just really frustrated with the whole thing. And I think this is where it comes back to where people say, don't put all your trust in man. You need to put your trust in the Lord and follow God. Everybody's chanting, "Oh, follow the science. You're a science denier. You're a science denier." And I'm like, you're so scientific telling me I'm not scientific, but I don't follow science. I don't. I'm not an imbecile, but I don't believe that man is the beginning and the end of everything.
Amen.
And
Absolutely.
so I'm just saying, I'm just thinking that I am losing, like many people. We're frustrated, we're disconcerted with the whole thing. You want us to believe in law, you want us to believe in this institution and that institution, but look at all the corruption. How can you make, the slogan, he says, "Make America Great Again"? Well, in this case, that's more of a progressive statement to me. But how can you make it great with the amount of corruption and the amount of power hungry people that we're dealing with? I mean, look at Congress. They're basically holding aid hostage, to the people. I just don't see them getting anything passed. I mean, Nancy Pelosi talks about, passing bills as if it's her money. You know what I mean? We've got this corporation versus the country, and it just can't. I just don't. It can't work. I don't think you can combine those two together and people be happy with where they are in the power structure. Do you understand what I mean?
I see what you mean exactly. And that's exactly, I'm so glad to hear you say that, because you and I are both conservative women. We both are, right? I think
Yes,
that,
I am.
you see, but for us to both be women that are conservative, but we can see. You feel what I'm saying? It's a difference. I don't want to be so beholden to a person that I overlook the problems that are. And there is a lot of corruption. And to Trump's credit, I want to say that I believe maybe in the beginning, maybe he had an idea that he could go in there and take it all out. And then I believe that, hey, but you know what I'm saying? It's like it's like you see a house and you're like, yeah, it's beautiful on the outside. I hear it's got a few problems, but let me just go in here and see, can I get it? You go in there and you find out that all the plumbing has been ripped out and that somebody done stole the doggone stairwell, the whole stairwell. You can't even get upstairs. They done took the stairwell. You know what I mean? They took all the windows out the back, the yard and the whole backyard, the whole pool has been drained of the water. It's got cracks all in it, and you're like, gee whiz, this is more than a fixer-upper. This is more
Yes.
than what I thought it was going to be. And I believe that's what the deal is that now he sees this is heavier. And I'll be honest with you, I cannot say that I would not roll out either. I'm going to say that because this man has been getting $1 a year
Yes.
since he came into office. His check is $1 per year. I would have thought to myself, I probably would have left after the first year. I would have said, y'all can have it. You can keep it. I would have been like, no, you can keep it. I'm done. Because there's no fixing it. You guys like being in this mud. You all like being in this filth. You know what I mean? You like it. So y'all like it. And it's a thankless job. All right. In all honesty, it is. I would never want to be the president. I would never want to be the governor. All right. I would never want to be the governor. But here's what I do know, that God is going to have the last say in all of this. He's going to have the last say in every single bit of it. Why? Because there is still the remnant that is here. You still have a body of believers who trust him. And that's where I see this thing going. I see everybody now taking off their chains. I see everybody taking off their chains in the spirit realm, and everybody standing like the warriors God has created us to be, and that we, the remnant, are beginning to see that God is, and he is the only one that can take care of us, that it is not man, that there is no king, that there is no president that can stand in his stead in our lives. We have to now turn back around and go back to the beginning, take back our first love. We have to go back to our first love and let God be who he is. This so reminds me of the story of Israel, how Israel just kept begging and begging. I'm going to mute you for a second, Black Spring. Mute you for just a second.
Sure.
How do you remember how the children of Israel begged and begged and begged and pleaded with God for a king? And he continuously said to them, I am sufficient. I am your everything. Didn't I just give you guys manna? Didn't I just take care of you? I took care of you. But they just had to have a king. Had to have a king. Then they got one, and it was a terrible king. He was a terrorizer. They were like, oh, wow, no, we don't want that. So how about this? Let's just the remnant. Those of us who still know a word of prayer. Those of us who can still get a prayer through. Those of us who can still call on God. Okay, how about we just begin to fall on our faces and ask him for forgiveness of actually not serving and reaching out for him. We've all been, in one way or another, on our soapboxes for what we believe and what person we think is going to be the best to do the job, to lead our lives. And we are called by the Most High God to live for him. How about we just do like the word tells us? And if my people who were called by my name would humble themselves and pray, would turn away from their wicked ways, then, he says, will I hear from heaven, and then will I heal their land. How much more pestilence, how many more plagues do we have to take before we fall down on our faces and give it to him? Thank you, Amanda. I don't understand what it's going to take. I don't understand what it's going to take. I don't understand how much more, because you guys, the hour is drawing near. Come on back, Black Spring. The hour is drawing near. Right?
It is. And
we in October. Go ahead.
Well, I just I don't know. I'm just saying that what are they saying now? I just think that I'm having to kind of reassess and just really just reassess my position, or even just I think that my own beliefs are changing about this system. And I mean, and it doesn't make me less patriotic, but it's just causing me to question more things, and just look, I'm not buying everything that you say. And I'm going to echo something that you were saying. You find a lot of Black conservatives, not all, but they won't call out. They won't call Trump out if they see something that's a hair or a wink or an eyelash off. They won't do it. And it's like, it's not about I'm not a loyalist to any party, but I do know that as far as Trump's concerned, when it comes to vaccines, I strongly disagree with him on that. I disagree with, I think there's a level of con to that.
Yep.
I think there's a level of, I just think that there's so many, I've been saying this for a while now. I'm like, I sense that there's some betrayal that's going to come out.
Come on, girl.
And the betrayal, I think, is going to hit. I think a lot of people, it's only going to hit the Black community hard. It's only going to hit the brown people. It's going to hit everybody.
Come on now.
It's going to affect. It's going to affect everybody. And when and I think it was maybe you, and I saw a video in which you're mobilizing the military to get involved. Yep. Are you having them to do this on a logistical level? I mean, are they going to locate pens to write our names down on our bracelets? Are we getting stamps, or are we getting ID bracelets like you do at the fair? You got to get your bracelet first before you get your shot. Or are they? I mean, to me, that's a little bit forceful. That's a little bit much. That's more than I can stand for. And I'm just thinking, I'm not saying I'm going to vote for Joe Biden because of that.
Come on, girl. No way.
But because I'm telling you, people say, oh, well, he's only doing that for political reasons. But do you understand, when they bring something in, whether it's for political reasons or whether they actually believe in it or not, if the pendulum swings back the other way, the other party will use it for their benefit.
Come on.
And it might be way worse. They might be even more evil. They might use their power for evil the next time, which I think they do that anyway, but it's going to be via vaccines, and I'm really, I'm not going into Proud Boys or any of those issues. I'm just saying I've been more than disappointed with what I've seen. And I see the betrayal already, and I see it. I see the Black community being front loaded. They front load everything that they want to appeal to the masses on by using Black people. If they want to sell a crap sandwich, they put a Black person on the front of it. Look at it. It's just my assertion. Okay, I'm saying they want to sell everything LGBTQ, whether the Black community actually supports it or not. But if they can rent a Black person out of the degenerate Hollywood, they'll go grab a Black person. If they want somebody to riot, they rent a Black for a riot. Because they know that's who they're going to put it on. No matter how many Upper East Side snobs are out there smashing windows and spray painting walls, they're going to put it on that one Black person that was out there is going to get it. So that's the crap sandwich. We can put the Black people on the front of it, and that's what and we'll sell it to everybody.
I agree. I have to say, I agree.
And I'm not even going into that other administration. I'm not even going to do it, because I think there's some con. I think there's been some con in everything that they've put Black people on the front of. Look, when they do things in the Black community, you got to put a man in a dress to perform on your DNC.
Come on now.
That's the only way we can get a Black man on the front of we got to put a Black man on the front of Sesame Street steps, but he's got to be in a dress. He's had to be in a dress. Does anybody not see what's going on here?
I don't know. I mean,
I'm just saying, you got to sell
it. You're absolutely right. And I believe that men across the board, Black and white, have been taking the brunt end of the whole bunch of stuff over the past few years, especially. I mean, it's been like the attack on everything that's got testosterone. If it's a man and everything, it first started out attacking, like you just said, okay, the Black man in the dress. Yes, that started. But believe it or not, that actually started years ago with this guy named Flip Wilson. I'm not sure if your mom or
I
your
remember
dad
that.
watched.
That was
Yes,
bizarre. Like he was like Flip
yes.
Poppins, Mary Poppins or
Yes,
something. Oh my
Flip
God.
Wilson. Okay. So Flip Wilson used to wear used to have had this character called Geraldine. And how benign at that time. We didn't know. We were kids. You know, my mom and them used to watch it, but really that was all we had to watch was those shows. But I did not realize until not long ago how that laid a foundation. You see, the one thing that I'll say about this whole entire movement is it knew exactly, the people who were the powers that be knew exactly how to lay down the foundation. And once they laid that foundation, they just build precept upon precept, the same way that the word does. They just laid that garbage down, though. Okay, it was garbage. Laid that garbage down, and from Flip Wilson all the way, we have just gotten worse. The one movie that really woke me up, and this was a trip because this was years after other movies had come out and done somewhat the same thing. The one movie that woke me up was called The Fifth Element, and it had Chris Tucker in it, and it also had the white guy I like, Bruce Willis. That movie woke me up. Do you know why it woke me up? Because yes, okay, Maynard remembers Flip Wilson, yes, but do you know why that movie woke me up? Because I was sitting there in the theater and I was watching it and I was like, wait a minute, he's got on lip gloss. Chris Tucker literally had on lip gloss, and it was a pretty pink lip gloss. I was like, wait a minute, he's got on lip gloss, and he's got roses around his shoulder, and he was sauntering in. He said they wanted him to wear a dress in that character, but he said no. So he wore the cat suit instead. Do you remember that?
No.
It's a
I don't
movie
think I
called
watched it.
The Fifth Element. Who in the chat remembers the movie The Fifth Element? Does anybody put a 1 in chat if you remember The Fifth Element? It was a movie called The Fifth Element, and it had Chris Tucker in it. It also had Bruce Willis, and and I remember that movie. Okay, it was Tu Wong Fu for me. Put Wesley Snipes in makeup. Oh my God, wasn't he ugly, Proverb Nation? Yes.
That was hideous.
Yes. And so we're all wondering. So here's what we need to do. We need to start praying and asking God to show us when we see something that's totally opposite of him, even though it may be funny. We need to say, whoa, wait a minute now. I remember what they did to Wesley Snipes and Tu Wong Fu. I don't want nothing to do with this. I already see where we headed because they started it then. And after they started it, we didn't say anything. It was a litmus test. They wanted to see, well, let's see, what's the Black community going to do? Now they're using the Black community to sell everything that's anti-God and shove it down the world's throat. Everything that is anti-God, they use our community to shove it down the world's throat. And you know why they use us? Because they play on the heartstrings of good people. And let me tell you how. Because if you don't like that 6'2" Dennis Rodman rocking a wedding gown, you are a racist. And everybody who could stand up will not, because they don't want to be labeled a racist. So now do we see how the mind game begins? That's how the mind game begins. If they want to push their narrative as evil and as wicked and as demonic as it is, all they've got to do is shovel it, take a little bit of that poop, put a little bitty powdered sugar on it. Now, here, eat this powdered donut and like it. That's what it is. I mean, and now we have to guard our children and our nieces and nephews and our grandchildren from a regular commercial, because you don't know when a commercial is going to put another Flip Wilson or Tu Wong Fu blueprint in their minds. You don't know when they're going to do that. So now it's almost, you know what? I'm going to be candid with you guys and tell you the honest truth. Do you know what my diet of TV is now? You would never imagine. Right now, I watch Mayberry, RFD. I watch, and I laugh at it. I sit there and I chuckle. It helps me. It relaxes me. I can watch something and laugh at it and have pure laughter, as opposed to being offended in my eye gates all the time. So I will watch Andy Griffith's show. I have been watching. Let's see what else. Oh, I do like old Seinfeld, but Seinfeld is a little questionable. But as an adult, I could deal with it. Oh, I came back. It's an attack on Black community and race. That's right. Yeah, that's it. Is he back? So to me, so now I'm really honestly grieving. I feel like I'm in mourning. First off, y'all done locked us in the house. Okay, you done locked us in the neighborhood, and now that we're in the neighborhood, oh, me too. I love the old shows. I mean, hey, look, I like anything that's old and black and white now. Even I Love Lucy. It's the safest way because I just want to sit down to TV and laugh a little bit. I've been working all day. You see, simple. I've been with my grandkids and I love them dearly, but I just want to relax. I don't want to have anything controversial. And I did like one mainstream show until this past Sunday. And that, my friends, was Power.
Boy.
I mean, hey, I'm 56. I do like some adventure. And I did like that show until this past weekend. Because they shoveled a lifestyle that I don't live and I don't agree with. But anything, I like Dick Cavett. I like just all, hey, listen, my brothers and sisters used to get upset with me because on a certain night of the week, I would hog the TV and watch the Lawrence Welk Show. So I like old shows. They'd be like, Mama, she's doing it again.
Wow.
But what else have you got to share? Because your points have been so beautiful tonight, my soul sister. So beautiful.
Well, I appreciate it's very I just think that it's a dark time, it's a sad time, and it's like everything they're trying to get every and anything in. And for a while it seemed like, and I'm not going to bash or trash Trump. I'm not going to do it. But he's just a man, and that's all he's ever been. Nobody on this earth is perfect. We've never had a perfect person to run the country. But I just think that at this time, I'm just kind of losing faith in where we're going. I just think that we just have no. Because I'm going to be honest, it just seems like whether you want to say the left or the liberals or the dark or the demonic spirits, it seems like that is already running the country. They are running the roost. Everything, as you said, everything that's ungodly, that's what they stand for. And that's what they're pushing. Mm-hmm. That's what they're pushing. They are not going to stop until we are it's just, what is it? Sodom and Gomorrah. The United States of Sodom and Gomorrah is what it's turning into. And there's just no, that if you tell somebody the truth, then you're their enemy. And I think that's in the Bible.
Yes. It's everything that's right is wrong. Everything that's wrong is right. Up is down. It's like upside down world. Everything is like we're going down the tunnel in Alice in Wonderland. That's what I feel like, right? It's like you don't know what's down the rabbit hole, but you definitely know what's up here. So it's like either stay up here in this crap or go in the rabbit hole and hope for help, but there's none. And so that's why it is so important for us to just go ahead on and put our picket signs down. Go ahead on and put our banners, take our little banner out the front yard. Take our little banner out the front yard and say, okay, you know what? Y'all can have this circus. I'm just going to trust God. And I believe that I'll be safer.
I think you pretty much just summed it up, with that. And I'm saying, it's a struggle right now for me because, we all want to, we want to believe in, I think the thing is that everybody wants to believe in something, no matter what they say, they want to believe in something, but can you believe, but I can't believe in this. I can't. And if somebody says, if I see something that that doesn't set well or doesn't align with me, I have to call it out. And I've even said that on my own channel. I'm going to say, if you guys, whether you have a strong stomach, you got a strong stomach or not, I'm not going to sit here and paint you a bed of roses and hand you the weeds. I'm not going to do that. When you get the weeds, everybody, I don't know. Like the thing about at one point, it first started when I said, I was thinking, does anybody actually think voting is going to get us out of this? Do you think the answer is in the ballot box? I mean, I just think that's naive.
I do
block-art
too.
perspective.
I love
But
the way you said that.
I'm just saying, this is beyond the ballot box. And that's why they're gaslight. Everybody's talking. Oh, you've heard the buzzword by now. Now the two words, the Civil War. I don't even know. I'm like, look, this is this is the thing. I think this is the thing. America got a little bit too civilized for a civil war. We're not, I think those people back then were hard, they were nasty, they'll flip tables, they'll flip bottles, they'll break bottles. But these people now, we had this discussion on my show once before. You can barely get anybody to change a tire for you. If you need to change a tire, you better have that Fix-A-Flat in the back until
you was talking about that a couple of weeks ago.
Fix-A-Flat and wait until AAA or whoever comes to get you, because I just don't think, and this is not to male bash, I think they have purposely, we've been made weak on so many levels that everything's weaker.
Here's what it is. And again, I think that I'm more of an advocate for guys because I have 4 sons. All right. I was a daddy's girl. I feel a lot of dudes right now are just afraid to reach out and help. You know why? Because they've been told you can't say hi to a woman. You don't need to take her phone number. You don't need to do this to her. Every visible way of even naturally courting a woman has now been deemed offensive. You see what I mean? So even though a guy may see a woman in distress, there's even a scripture that talks about because sin does abound, and I'm paraphrasing, but because sin abounds, the love of many shall wax cold. And that's where we are right now. It's all the love is just waxing cold. People are just going to be about protecting themselves. And a lot of guys right now are like, well, there's 2 things. If I see a chick on the side of the road and her vehicle is stranded, one of 2 things is going to happen. 3 things. I could fix the tire and she'd go on her way and I'd go on my way and I feel like a hero and she feel like the damsel in distress and I came and saved her. Or she could say I raped her. So I'm not going to pull over. And the third thing is she could have a cat hanging out over there on the side of the bushes saying that her tire is flat. And as soon as I pull over, the cat jumps out, holds me by gunpoint. He steals my moped and that's the end of it. You know what I'm saying? He rolls away in my moped and him and the chick are gone. It seems comical, but there are a lot of reasons why guys are just not going to do what they used to do. Listen, from a woman's standpoint, I feel like we can't beat the men up and then expect them to be men. You feel me? And that's what I think has happened. I think society has obviously wanted to deteriorate the man so that they can get to the weaker vessel physically. The physical weaker vessel obviously is us. It's obviously us. I mean, there's no way I could do what my husband does. I call my husband Superman. I call him my hero. You know why? All I got to do is call him. It doesn't matter. He's a truck driver, so it doesn't matter where I am. I can just say, hey, I'm lost. And I've done this before. I had to drive for a living because I was a district manager and I had like 10 or 12 locations that I was responsible for. And one time I could not reach him. I could not reach my navigator, but my phone still dialed. I said, oh my God, I'm lost. What am I going to do? I said, oh, let me call my husband. I said, baby, I'm out here at this city. He said, all right, go on out there. Now, where you say you are, and I'll describe where I am. He go on down there to this. You're going to see a red light. When you get to that red light, make a right. Then you're going to go on down there. You're going to see a Texaco sitting on the left-hand side, going over there, turn left. Then go down 3 lights and do this, and bingo, I'll be right where I'm supposed to be. He's my hero. But you know what? Women are now, we have now been shunned if we lift a man up. If we praise a man and say that he's doing a good job, okay, we are weak because we say we need a man. The worst thing that a woman could have ever done was to try to attach herself with the whole feminism movement. You know why? Because that is anti-male. That is 100% anti-male. What does feminism really mean? Who started it? And just like we were talking with earlier with Dennis, when you want to know something, look to find out where that thing came from. Who started feminism? Her first name was Gloria. Does anybody know the last name? I'm sure you might, but there's probably a lot of younger people who don't know. Okay. that was a woman who could not stand men. So now you want me to burn my bra? Okay, stupidness. I'm gonna go out here. Let me tell you how heavy this chick was. She was so nuts with it. You had women burning their bras. I'm just gonna protest. Well, who you protesting, stupid? In a minute, you're gonna be protesting the sidewalk. Once your breasts get all of them scabs on it from things hanging down there that low, you're gonna be protesting that sidewalk. But the point that I'm making is this, and as comical as I'm trying to be, I have to drive this piece home. Men have been bashed. They have been drugged. They have been beat in the head. They have been everything. So now you find the poor guys don't want to do anything. Yes, indeed, Maynard. Yes, indeed. Okay, me too. You see what I'm saying? Men just, where can they go? Where can they go? There's nobody. You see a man coming, you go the other way. Okay, great. We get all that part if you're in a strange place. But right now, the men have been treated so bad that they are afraid to do a lot of stuff that they used to do. And the worst phrase that any woman could have ever said was, I'm an independent woman and I don't need no man. I made a video about that. I'm an independent black woman. I'm an independent black woman and I don't need no man. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Yeah, you're right, and I've heard that. I've heard that, and I think you're right. They are, Sean. They do want to get. They'd rather get out of the way and just I do feel for them. I do, but I don't know how do we redirect is what I would be is like problem solvers. I think we need to be more problem solvers, and that means that's, as they say, let me put it down here where the cows can get it. The hand that you were dealt, let's work with that.
Okay, how you deal with it, and I'm giving this from an older woman's perspective. Okay, it may not work for everybody, but if you've got a good man in your life, and let's qualify good man. Good man is he's not going to. Yeah, I don't mean. Yeah. Okay, let's just qualify it. He's not going upside your head. He's not cheating on you, treating you like a piece of trash. He's not taking the money and going to the track racing with it. He's not. I'm talking about a good dude. You know what I'm saying? Why not lift your good dude up before the cleaning woman take him? I mean, just lift him up. You feel me? Just start with the cat you rocking with. If you just start with the cat you rocking with, you're going to be all right. Just start right there. Just start being respectful to him. Start to lift him up. Don't call him bad names. Don't berate him. When he makes a mistake, pray for him instead of talking about him. Because I guarantee you he can hear from God faster than he will you. But you got to send a prayer up on his behalf. When you see him making a mistake and you can think in yourself that's not going to work that way, hey, think about it. How would the woman trying to take him from you handle it? And I guarantee you to set you straight. Yeah. The woman that's trying to take him from you, how would she handle it? Oh, you're so good at that. And then he'll square his shoulders a little bit more. Yeah. And all of a sudden it's fixed. And she got your dude and she gone. Lift your own man up. There's a scripture in the Bible that says a foolish woman will plucketh her house down. A wise woman builds her house up. But a foolish one plucketh it down with her own hands. And if you can imagine how long it would take to pluck a whole house down.
Well, I'm going to say that's really beautiful to hear you say that, to hear you express that, because, everybody comes from a different background. And when some of us come from backgrounds where women are constantly bashing men and they don't even know, and they're bashing their own husbands, and they're, if you, and they do it in front of their kids. Now that's where you do it in front of your kids. And that sometimes I want to say now that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you're not supposed to talk about the husband or the ex-husband or the dad in front of the kids, because you kind of screw up their perception. You do. I mean, I'm saying, I will tell you this one thing, and I will end with this. I had once upon a time, I had a hairdresser. She told me, she says, people mess up their kids. and then she followed it up and did one better. She said, you don't want to know why I know? And I said, you don't say. She says, I know because I messed up my kids. And she used the F word, but but I think she was right. She says people F up their kids. And I know because I effed up mine. And so I guess maybe she can see that in the men that they choose. You choose the men that you choose based on where the bar was set at home. Those relationships, those relationships make our relationships, I think, are a big goal. So yeah, but it's nice to hear you. I've never heard that before. Yeah,
I've got a couple of videos. If you go and search back through all my stuff, you'll hear me being real honest. There's one part where I'm being really honest, and I'm saying how I jacked up. I was with my first husband, and I was one of those big mouth chicks. Obviously, I'm big mouth now, but then I was big mouth and ignorant. And hey, I gotta be honest. And it was many years ago. We were on the base, and while I was on base with him, there was a chick there that was really rude at the grocery store. It was actually not called a grocery store, but she was at the what is it called? It's called the, oh my God, I can't think of the name of it, but it's where we would go to buy our food or whatever. I mean, it was on base. And so I am there. The girl was exceptionally rude, and I decided to, let her have it. And it embarrassed my husband. And it embarrassed my husband because the girl thought I was going to go report her to the grocery store, right? And instead of me going over there to report her at the commissary, that's where we were. Instead of me going to the commissary reporting her, I just snatched the receipt out of her hand after she got, fly with me, and we left the store. Well, the next day, I believe it was about the next day, my husband and I were called into the first sergeant's office. Now imagine my husband going into the first sergeant's office, not because of something he did, but because of something I did. Okay. And the first sergeant pretty much told him in my face, he said, now I'm not going to say my former last name, but I will just say, Miss Betty Rubble, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know what happened between you and that young lady, but I do know that it came back to my desk. And he says, your husband has you here. And did you know that we could send you home? And I just looked at him. He goes, so let me just give you a fair warning. The next thing you do like this, you will be going home and we're going to bust him down. How embarrassing. I was so embarrassed for my husband. And it checked me. It really made me open up my eyes to, and there's a scripture that says a woman that is an embarrassment to her husband is as rotten to his bones. Ooh. And the marrow is actually what's in the bones. If you don't have the marrow in the bones, you will cease to exist. So the Bible says that a woman that is an embarrassment to her husband is as rotten as to his bones. And I said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I was so repentant at that time. I repented to my husband. I repented and asked for, I said, hey, sir, I'm sorry. It will never happen again. And that never happened again. When I tell you, I never did that to him again. But that was my point, is that, sometimes women, we can act really ugly. And when we're acting ugly like that, we're not thinking of how it's going to, how it could have resulted in him losing stripes, losing money, and then me being away from him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really, really bad. And so that's how I would answer that. I would answer it as, each woman, take care of your home. If you feel like you have a good dude and you can see any goodness that you guys did have at one time with one another, then treat him good. How's it? What you gonna lose? What you gonna lose? You might keep a good thing, and that good thing might end up treating you better. You look at old people, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let you say this. I'm gonna let you say what you want to say, but listen to this. Have you ever seen an old couple and they're so beautiful, and they're walking together, and you just look at them, and the old gentleman is just treating that lady like gold. He's pulling out her chair, and you may be sitting at a coffee shop watching their interaction, and you're thinking to yourself, how beautiful is that? Oh, how sweet. And then you say, you guys are so beautiful. How did you do it? You don't even know. Papa was a rolling stone one day. But because this woman loved him and prayed for him and cared for him, even in the midst of him still being a child wrapped up in a man's body, she still stood there and weathered every storm with him and loved him through it and lifted him up through all of it. There is something to be said about a true union of a husband and a wife when it's a true union. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
And so that's what I think is missing. I think women, there are not enough older women encouraging younger women to keep their good thing.
No, they're not. And I have seen that before, and I think that's one of the most beautiful things to witness, actually, is someone that has stuck it out, whether it was, rocky roads or, storms or whatever. They're still together. I mean, I think that's rare. And it's rare, and I think people need, I think the as a whole, I think, especially in the Black community, I think that we all need like a wholeness restored, like a restoration wholeness restored. And when I say that, like, not so much, and I think men tend to look for perfection, and I think women do tend to look for more wholeness. But I think overall, it's much more functional and much more balanced if we could somehow kind of meet in the middle and pursue, some wholeness that works for everyone, and yeah, maybe not get in each other's way too much. I think I will say this, and I'm getting into these relationship conversations, but I think sometimes, we lose ourselves in other people. And then before you know it, you're frustrated and, you're trying to figure out who you are and, well, what happened to that? What happened to that lady or that girl? And, and everything's suffering a little bit more because you basically give up everything. Because, when some people say, I'm like, even at times I'll go back to my own mom, for instance, like, well, you're starting to sound like somebody else and not you. So where are you? Where are you in this? When you come back, I'll come back. But for now, you sound like him, and you're doing that. I think you're doing that because you want to prove your somehow your commitment, or you want to prove your interest or your loyalty or something. It's that you're trying to prove that the camaraderie or your oneness with them, but you've lost yourself.
Well, now let me ask you this: if when we say the person loses themselves, because see, here's the major one of the major attacks in the U.S., and that is on the family. The attack has been on the family, and I know a lot of times that it started with them cajoling the woman to get out of the house by saying, here, go and get your independence, go get a job, put on your pantsuit and just go on out there. I think that our danger is that we don't look and reflect on the things where the downfall started, and I can just speak that for our community and specifically, I know that for us, it started with the whole welfare piece being introduced into our community, because before that, we had a lot of people owning their own stuff, going out here because we were, by and large, because we were the slave people and we did do all of the labor. We knew how to do the farming. We knew how to have, how to run different things. We knew all these different things. And so when we finally did have the abolishment of slavery and had our own communities, well, it was a given that we just did the things that we knew to do to survive, right? Our problem came in when we bought lock, stock, and barrel the whole idea of, well, if your man isn't in the house, then we're going to give you food. If your man isn't in the house, then we're going to take care of you and the family. And so there was an old movie. I mentioned this movie a long time ago. It was called Claudine. And this movie, Claudine, was a perfect example of this because she had several children, but she was trying to work and she had a whole lot of kids. And she met this really nice guy, but he was a trash man. And what she ended up doing was whenever he would bring her like tidbits from the garbage, or old, maybe an old toaster or a fan or something like that, he would take it to her. And when he would take it and give it to her, she had to hide it when the welfare lady came to the house. She had to take it and hide it because that would prove that she had a man in the house. So the welfare lady would come in the house and she would take a look in all of the closets to make sure there was no man's shoes or things like that and all that other stuff. By the way, I'm a female Maynard, my dog. Okay. So at that point, what she was doing, does anybody remember that movie in the chat? The movie called Claudine? It was the woman who had all the kids and the guy was a trash man. He would bring her all the goodies. The welfare lady would come, and if she found a man there, she would cut some of her food stamps or cut some of her
Did you say
money.
that's a movie?
Yeah, it was
Did
a
you
movie
say
called
that?
Claudine. Claudine. It was back in the 70s. And that was a prime example of a Black woman not allowed to have a man. So they held the
Wow.
money over her head. They basically would hold the money and the food stamps over her head so that she would not even engage with a male in a relationship. Okay. And so the attack, in conjunction with all the other stuff that we're seeing in America right now, it is a major attack on the nuclear family.
Yeah.
Yes, Diane Carroll. It was with Diane Carroll. And he just loved her. And this guy just really wanted to be with her. It was a struggle at first, but it had a good ending. But it was indicative of what was going on and what went on within our own community and how somebody taught us to, strike up our independence was actually Maude and all those other shows. And then you found a lot of other women who just wanted to have their independence and they left their families to go out here and pursue the man's job. And I do believe in gender roles. I do. Now, here's the thing. If you cannot afford for both people, one person to stay home and the other person to go to work, you better get your butt up and go get a job.
Well,
Okay?
that's great. That's a great point because it looks like a lot of people want to stay at home, but they can't. Everybody can't afford to do that.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me play devil's advocate. We say we trust God. Then what is the problem? What would happen if there was only one income in the house and the other person, the wife, could not find a job? She would have nothing better to do but to stay home, take care of the house, make sure it's clean so that when the husband comes in, he doesn't feel like, well, not only do I have the weight of the world on my shoulders, but now I've got to wade through the sink full of dirty dishes just to get a glass to get some water. And there's no food cooked, even though I bought food. You see what I mean? I'm saying basically make the best of your situation in the way that it is. Whatever works for you and your spouse, do that. And if you are not able to work, then do the best at home that you can. I mean, it just helps your life go by a lot easier. If you can't go to work, then make the best of it at home. If you can, then make sure that you guys are talking and communicating and the communication is open between the two of you guys as to what you want. But right now, everything is anti-man, anti-family, anti-God. And that's where it starts. If we look at how things were originally supposed to be, even though we may not be able to, with the economy the way that it is right now, have one person stay at home, then at least have some respect for one another, men and women. How about we just start there? Basic respect. But I think that for women who are seeking answers and trying to have their heads on straight, that the best thing for us to do is for us to just remember that we can, if we want to have peace and we want to have friendliness, we have to first be found friendly. And a lot of women, I know, I'll speak for myself, we're sometimes we're just not the nicest folks to get along with.
I hear you. I mean, yeah, I know there's all kinds. But yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, I do support men being men and being men without all the and without the new speak of the toxic masculinity and all of that. Just let boys be boys. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Don't try to tell them that they're not being sensitive enough, or I do say don't hit girls. I will say don't ever do that.
Mhm.
But to just because at one point they had a whole bunch of commercials that were promoting, that were saying, there was basically around the Me Too movement kind of a bit. They were trying to show all these pictures of kids wrestling around. I'm like, so what are you going to do, put a big X over the two guys rolling around in the grass? What are you going to do? I mean,
Well,
if kids are not doing that, I think that's not, if they're not rolling around and being boys, I think that's unhealthy if they're not doing those things.
I agree. I agree. I do agree. And after having, like I said, all of my grandsons, my sons and my grandsons, and all of the kids in our family, all the guys in our family, we have lots of little boys, lots of boys. I would not expect it to be any other way. I mean, roll around, bump your head. Each one of my sons got a nice little gash someplace. One brother was playing with the other one and flung them too far. They were both the same, about around the same age. Got a big old gash. Okay, that's an emergency room visit. And then the next one fell down the steps and gashed up under his chin. All right, that's another emergency room visit. And then, I mean, they just, but they were boys. They broke things. They hurt things, but they get back up and they keep going. I've got one grandson that's exactly like that now, and he is just rough and tough. Let them live. Let them be. We got to quit buying. This is it in a nutshell. We have got to quit buying the lies of the devil that's sold to us under the guise of safety. They don't care
That's
about your
true.
safety. How do they care about your safety when they're dropping strontium, barium, and aluminum from the sky?
Yikes. Yeah, you're right that they're selling everything, selling everybody on safety. I mean, just give us everything and we'll make you safe.
I mean, your mouth
Yeah.
tastes like nickel when you walk outside. And we're tripping on the safety of it, the safety of the children. We're going to give them the shots for their safety. I made a mistake and I repented and have been repenting ever since. When I got one of my grandsons, he had not had some inoculations, and at one point he had to have them. And when I got them for him, he was so far behind. When I took custody of him, he was so far behind that he had to have a lot of them at one time. It damaged him. It literally
Oh
damaged him, and I'm
wow.
still laying hands on that child and praying for him right now today. Okay, so don't give me the stuff about it's for your safety. When if a vial at the doctor's office falls on the floor when they're trying to give a child a shot, if one of those vials falls on the ground, they got to clear the whole building out and call a hazmat team. If just one vial, like of the MMR or something as an example, hits the ground and breaks, they've got to literally
Hmm.
call a hazmat team. They have to shut the facility and call a hazmat team to come in. But yet and still, I shouldn't feel guilty about having that put in my grandson. And now I see that he was damaged because of it. Sure, I can. Don't give me the safety crap. That's all I'm saying. I just don't want them giving me the whole safety thing. So everything that we see right now that is opposite of God and opposite of trusting God, those are the things that we should question. If it's the opposite of trusting God for sustenance, trusting God for life, health, the pursuit of happiness, and all of that stuff, if it's anything that's opposite of trusting Him, if this situation that we're in right now is not an example of why we need to trust God, then I don't know what is.
I agree.
Because
I totally agree.
this story is developing daily, by every minute.
I know, it's there's just so much. There's so many things to cover. You just get lost in it all, and that's why I'm not trying to cover everything. I'm gonna just try to cover things that are because there's a lot of minutia out there, a lot of you know things that they blow up, and then they fade, they fade out. Everything's breaking until the next thing breaks, some of these things. And
What you say, everything
yeah. It just keeps breaking. The Lockhart.
Proverb Nation, you roll it out on the sister. But I'm gonna tell you what, you the OG for tonight. Proverb Nation say, I got to go. But you is the OG for tonight. But I want to show you guys something. Proverb Nation, I hope you can stay while I fumble around and try to figure this out, because I know you got to go. But I just want to show you guys this right thing. I'm going to show you this because I just got this in my news feed, and it is amazing. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna show this to you. I'm gonna show you guys this right here. I'm still here. All right, let me see if I can find it over here. And here you go. Now, oh my goodness, I can't believe I just saw what I saw. But oh my goodness, you guys. Okay, here you go. Let me share the screen and share the screen, share the screen, share the tab. And here we go. I'm gonna watch this one right here and share it. Look at this. I just got this alert. Do you know who that is?
Oh my God. Is that the First Lady Caitlyn Jenner?
It is the Wheaties box, man.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, can I just ask you a question?
Yes.
What do you think's behind what did you think this would, I'm sorry, did you think this nightmare would last as long? I mean, did you think this was real?
Nope.
I
you know what? I was a little girl and he was on the cover of the Wheaties box. And I was like, oh, okay. Hey, Huru Apocalypse. I was like, okay. But so these are the things that I think are being used to desensitize people to say, if this rich and famous person can alter who they want to be, and they finally accepted who they are, then surely you can allow yourself to, change. And okay, great, you change. But let me ask you this. How many people knew that, I believe it was the state of Oregon, and I could double check, but I'm almost sure it was, that in the state of Oregon back in about 2011, 2013, I think 13, you could get a 16-year-old could leave their house, a boy, and go get an altering change without the parents' permission. They could change and begin the process. Yeah, they could begin the process at 16 years old, and it was covered under Obamacare at 100%.
Wow.
I said it. It's the truth. Look it up. Yeah. So I think that it's just a way for them to further the agenda of not having the nuclear family and not having, men and women. Here's the deal. The attack is on God.
Did you just say here's the deal?
Yeah, here's the deal. Here's the deal. The attack is on God's creation. That's the deal. The deal is the attack is on God's creation. And so if you have enough of this around, how are you going to procreate? You're not going to.
That's true. And I think you were saying something earlier that I kind of caught because I came in. You were saying something about anything that's you didn't say this, but anything that's anti-human or that that stifles the human anti-God, that's what they want, they want to see more of that.
Yep.
So you're right.
How do we get past the value you can trust commercial? No, but it's just, and that's what they're doing because they want to desensitize all of us into this. You know what I'm saying? That's a part of the problem. We've been desensitized so much that we've just given up. It's almost like being in a fight and you can't swing anymore. And you're like, okay, forget it. Just go. Oh God, I just can't. Just go. And I think that Paul said something earlier where he was talking about, having a show that you just love. And then all of a sudden, boom, after, a long time of watching the show, I think it was Paul mentioned a show. What did he say? Okay, imagine, there he is. There it is right here. This is what Paul said. Imagine a show that was actually a great show, okay, and family friendly with worldwide fans starting from the 1970s until 2019. And then in 2019, homosexuality which was introduced into the show. It was Star Trek. You see that? It was Star Trek, is what Paul said. Yeah, and he's right, because I remember Lieutenant Uhuru, who was the sexy little black lady in that show with the little hairstyle. She was always so nifty. And then you had all of the other people that were in there. You had Kirk, and you had, all of them. But then, yeah, it just turned into something disgusting in 2019. And I was saying, about power, and then I'm going to say this and then I'm going to let y'all go. Okay, here you go. I'm like that cousin y'all ain't talked to in about 4 years. And then when she get on the phone with y'all, she just be going to my girl. And okay, I'm gonna let you go after this. I was watching, I did like Power because it was not like Empire. I could not stand Empire, but I did like Power. And the reason why I liked Power was because it was just, like showing the gangsters in the hood, and all of a sudden, child, this past Sunday, I was trying to watch it. And to Paul's point, they ended up having 2 young men at a college campus. And I said, that's it. I got to go. I set up, clicked, delete stars, and got rid of it. I said, that's it. That's the only reason why I had stars, was to watch that show, because I enjoyed it until then. And I knew something was funny because 50 Cent is not necessarily a part of it anymore, not in the way that he was with the first scene, with the first part of Power. First part of Power, he was all in it. But now that Power itself is gone, the second thing, can't do it. I'm sorry. I can't. I won't. That's it. And that was the last of the regular modern shows that I did watch. But like I said, now it's McHale's Navy. It's Hogan's Hero. I'm rocking Hogan's Hero. I'm rocking it all. It's sad how hard they work to deconstruct what God set for his creation. That's right. It is an act of blasphemy, and directly, that's right. And directly says to God, you did everything wrong. That's a good point, Proverb Nation. That is a good point. You are exactly on point. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly, it's like slapping him in his face. And so that's what we have to see with all of the stuff that's going on right now, is that's what this is. This is just an attack against God, attack against everything that's holy, attack that's everything that's good. And the bad part about it is there's killed all of these poor old people in these rest homes are passing away, because therein lies your history. If you get all the older people to go and you don't have anybody who can dispute what they're saying or doing and calling history, then you got the nation. They took away every statue, but we were believing, a lot of people were saying, oh, they're taking the statues away. Good, because it was racist. No, if you know history, you will understand that anytime a nation has been taken over, they take away their statues. No matter how good or how bad the person was, they remove the statues when they are overtaking the country, when it's overthrowing its government. Every country you've ever seen that has been overthrown by outside forces or from the inside out, look at it. They've taken every statue, threw it down to the ground.
Wow.
If you even go back, not that we liked him too much, but the guy, I actually think he was a pawn. What was the name? Yes, Huru. what was the name of that guy that they said had weapons of mass destruction? Black Spring.
Saddam.
Okay. Yes. And they snatched his statue down. They
Wait a
they
minute. Let me make sure I'm correct on that.
It was Saddam
Okay.
Hussein. Yeah, it was him. And they took his statue. They took everybody's statue. And then they go through and when they do the coup, they pull the leader out. And that's why I think Trump rolled out. I think he rolled out because he knew what they was about. He knew something was about to go on. I honestly don't believe this man is. I don't know. There is one other piece that I'm not going to say yet because I don't think God wants me to say it yet, but I'll be honest with you and say that this is not what it looks like.
Yes, I believe that. I can see that too. I mean, I've even gone so far as to say I'm not even at this point. I'm not even sure I'm convinced that he actually has it. The timing, when you think of the timing, you know, he's done all of these rallies, rally after rally after rally, one debate, and he's out.
Mm-hmm.
And then even the staff has it. It's I tell you, it's a developing story, and I'll leave it at that.
But see, we can't leave it at that because even though we're on a Friday night having a good time, you and I are both journalists. That's the deal. And as much as we would like to say it, that's what we do. And I mean, even though tonight we're, you know, in a different element, just enjoying ourselves and kicking back, hey, I'll be back reporting the news tomorrow. You'll be back reporting the news tomorrow. And the sad part is this is about the only time that we can, without having a commentary, insert what we really think.
I know it's nice to have the exchange with somebody, you know, because I don't get a lot of call-ins on my channel, and I don't know. I think that's another thing. I think a lot of people are afraid to speak out, and that's okay, and that's what I'm here for. I'll take the arrows and the whatever.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we have to. And so for me, I'm like, hey, yeah, this is one of those nights where I don't normally, and you know, not like this, I don't. I mean, I've fumbled around with this little StreamYard thing and jacked up. Don't hear myself, don't hear my guests, don't see myself. I was auditing my channel last night and I realized that there was one whole live that was like 12 minutes long.
No way.
Butterfingering all over trying to figure out why I couldn't hear. And there was 46 views on it. And I said, well, I dare not mess up the algorithm and remove it because they're only going to take those minutes away. But it was hilarious. But my point is that as journalists, and you know, doing what we do is not as easy as most because we know that even though we don't want to we want to just hide. And really, I just want to hide. I've got so much unpublished work right now over the past week because I'm just like, I can't believe most of the stuff that's gee whiz. So for us, I think it's a little more difficult because we do have to continue. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's here, whether it's in our Patreon, whether it's on our Vimeo or whatever that thing is, or whether it's in any of those other avenues that we upload information, whether it's our websites that we upload information to, or our reporting on, our commentaries, we still have to keep it real and just say what we believe. I mean, again, when we're reporting stories, we're reporting those stories. But this is what I feel about the whole thing. I feel like the same way you do. I don't think that I've never had hope in a human, but right now, this is a hot rump mess. This is like, it's like walking in a, I don't want to use certain words, but it's like walking in the middle of cow chips. This is like walking in the middle of cow chips. I don't know what we're going to do. Are we going to have an election Black Spring?
Now that is an excellent question. I would say right now, I'm thinking it is possible that we won't. And I don't mean to gaslight or be the fear monger or Debbie Downer, but I just think the safety, and I'm not talking about safety as it relates to the pandemic safety. I'm saying that people's state of mind. I think that we've become lawless. We're so lawless right now. Who's to say that? I mean, that these polls, just if you have to hit the floor because you went out and voted in person, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I just snorkeled.
I mean, if you have to hit the floor, I mean,
low crawl, roll out.
Yeah, like
roll
if you
out,
crawling under the tables and stuff, I'm just saying, I don't know. I mean, but then you know what? That's the way you put the question. I think it's possible that anything can happen. I think all bets are off.
Yes,
And I think that they absolutely reject Mike Pence. I think they will reject him.
Yeah.
And I do think that, but look at it. I mean, next to Trump's personality, I mean, who else is going to be as, who's going to be close to Trump and his Trumpism as Trump, who's going to out Trump? No,
nobody.
None of them are.
Nobody.
And I think, I'm going to be honest, not to get a dig in on Mike Pence, but I think they'll throw him out and he won't even put up a fight.
I don't think he'll put up a fight either. I think that what he'll do is, you want me to leave? Come on, honey, we gotta go. Give him the cottage keys. Give him the keys to the cottage. Let's go. Yeah. I mean, Pete's, like I said, if I was Trump, I would have been gone. I would have said, y'all can keep it. I would have rolled out. It would have been an old song from the early 2000s. Roll out. I would have rolled out. Y'all can have it. You can keep it. You can keep all of this. Yes, this is a mess. So with that said, I don't know. First off, I'm not putting my signature on no ballot and sticking it in a mailbox. I'm just not doing it. And just like you said, to your point, I don't think I'm going to go to no.
It's a risk. I think it's a risk because, I'm just saying it's a risk for many reasons. We're beyond, it's not just, there's just too many confluences of things right now and people's tolerance for each other. People are lashing out. Many people have not had any type of release, or I think it's going to expose, where people are mentally. I think we're going to be people. What is it? What is the show? Snapped? What if you snap at the pool?
Wait a minute. Yeah, you ain't joking. I mean, can you only imagine what would happen? I mean, and you know what? We're laughing, but watch next month that happen.
But I'm serious.
But I believe it's going to happen. It can definitely happen. I believe that it can happen.
I don't want to see anybody snapping at the. I don't want to see anybody snapping at the polls, but at the same time, you've had people have been locked down for a few minutes, and some people never came out of a true lockdown. And if somebody says, but see, here's the thing: if you notice, there's a visual division. Those that are masked are tending to be on the left, and those that are coming unmasked. Unfortunately, they've politicized it so much that you're automatically exposed. So if you see somebody, where's your mask? We got people calling the cops if there's more than one person at your house, a different car, a vehicle in your driveway.
Lord have mercy.
Calling the cops if you're riding with your kid on a bike without a mask on. Do you see the dynamics here? How a 6 feet away, you can be staring down. Somebody can be yelling and screaming at you from 6 feet away. Or could you be tased? Could you be tased if you go in that facility?
Like the chick that went to the baseball game or the track, or she was at some outdoor event. I think it was on your channel, wasn't it? Where the lady was being affected. What happened?
She got. He ended up tasing her because she was resisting, and then he ended up tasing her and he arrested her, and he had no mask on, by the way, during the time. But the story said, oh, she was tased. They did all that because she was trespassing. But that's not what you approached her with. It's on camera that you approached her, you challenged her on not wearing a mask.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody started, where's your mask? They were yelling at him as he was hauling her away. And he decides to pull up his mask. So
I'm gonna go
was
to
it
your
about the
channel.
trespassing?
Let me go to your channel and pull that up. I want to see that. I think it's all. I know. How long ago was that? Because I got to check
Oh
that
my
out.
gosh. It was probably, it feels like
That was about a week ago.
a week ago. It's on
Week
one
or
of
two.
those. It might have been it was a Moonlight stream was what it was.
Yeah, it was. I gotta see that though.
But you know, I thought that was just, you know, disgusting. You know, it's just, you know, but honestly, she was in that entire section by herself. There was no one
Mhm.
around her. And I was just thinking that's more than extreme. You know, okay, how long will it be before somebody else, you know, before they jump out of the bushes, before you get in your car?
Before you jump out the bushes, what's
Jump
the
out the
name of
bushes
it?
and arrest you.
Do you remember what the name of it was?
I can probably go over there and see.
It wasn't Undella, Town Spring, Undella Pokemon. No, that's no. I need to go to the most recent stuff. What on the planet is this? What
Let's
am I
see.
looking at?
I don't know. That's interesting.
Could you can't upload it on your end, can you? No, because I don't know how that would work.
I can probably let me just find it and I can share the link with you right now. Let's see.
Yeah,
That
because
might
I
work.
want them to see this. If you guys haven't seen this, it is amazing. Absolutely amazing. There is a woman, and you all may have seen it already in other clips, but there's a woman who's at what looks like a outside event, a sports event. She's sitting alone, and she gets beat up by this guy. Was he a security guard? I thought it was Day.
He looked like a not so security. So I'm gonna share. So if you go to can you see your private chat?
Here you go, trying to make me
see that.
Show
you're on your way. You got comments, and then to the right, to the left of it. That's private chat. So I'm gonna send it to you right now. So if you hit that link and then go to your share screen, you can share it.
Okay, I'm gonna show you guys this. Okay, and then we're gonna let y'all go. The cousins who cousin y'all ain't talked to in a while. We're gonna let y'all go because we know how it is. So let me I'm gonna put it over here, open it in here, put it there, paste it there. Okay. And then I'm gonna share it here. Then I'm gonna go to my Chrome tab and the new tab. Oh, I don't know. Did I do that right? I don't think so. I think I'm going to be showing you what's behind the scenes. Oh, there. Okay, yeah. Okay, there. Click. All right.
Yeah, your audio will be in that corner. So when you hit it, select the link, you just hit your audio with it too. Share audio as well.
Okay, it's ABC News though.
Yeah, it's not mine. It's one that I found.
Okay, as long as I'm sure. As long as I'm sure I'm not jacking up nothing. All right, here we go, you guys. All right, y'all, here we go. We're going to share the screen. We're going to do the magic. And we're going to go here. And we're going to go right there. Now, and then I go click. Yep.
No sound. Did you hit the
Oh, I forgot to share the sound.
Yeah.
Oh,
if you will go back and do that, and then it'll play. Once you select it, it'll put that little box.
Yes, that's right. Hit that bottom box right yonder. Oh, I forgot the link. Okay, here we go. You guys, I'm really goofy like this. This is really me. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're so together." I'm like, "Child, I don't know what you're talking about."
You've got it all.
I'm gonna get it. I got it. It's coming. Can y'all hear that?
I don't hear anything.
I did it.
Is it you click the little box?
Yeah.
The little one on the left. I think it's on the left corner. Are you muted on your end? On any ends there?
Y'all already know I don't know what I be doing, but anyway, you guys, it was
I
an
don't know if I can
intriguing
share it. I don't know if I
situation.
can share it from over here. I don't know. If
But I
can.
really wanted them to see it because it is, to me, it is unbelievable.
Okay,
I
let's
was
try
like,
this. Here,
hold on, I
let me
think I
see.
got it. You got it? What
Now,
is that?
see if I okay. It's down. Now I put it down there for you. Now, just plug it.
Oh,
Hit it. Do
there
you
you
see
go.
it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let me hit the volume. Oh, I see. I have mine. I have it on mute on my end. Let me unmute it, and then it should go. Should I go ahead and hit the play button or?
Do your magic.
Hey, I don't know if it's on your end. Did you do the? Okay, so there you go. Can you hear it?
No. I hear something.
Okay, hang on a second. Let me skip the ad. Okay.
Over masks in this country, the school is asking
Do you
I hear
hear
it.
it now?
to please
Yes.
wear a mask when coming to cheer on your children.
Can you
at
guys
sporting
hear it
events.
in the
Tonight,
stream?
The Ohio mother who refused, and what then happened. Here's Clayton Sandell.
Tonight, a woman who refused to wear a face mask at an Ohio middle school football game is now facing.
Did I do that?
Say the school district.
No, that's the buffering. Let's see.
Oh, okay.
Let me blow it up here.
Smith, she has asthma. An officer Smith told her she was now facing a trespassing charge. Police say she put up a fight. It's to take her into custody.
Oh my God. So that's where he's tasing her now.
Yeah.
As Kitts is left.
That's unbelievable.
Police want to stress that she was not arrested for refusing to wear a mask. She was arrested for criminal trespassing after refusing to leave. David,
Again, the bigger picture.
That's a bunch
So
of bogusness.
yeah, that was disturbing to see that, and
But he
yeah, because
actually
some-
said that it was a mask originally, though. I remember hearing it about the mask or something, because everybody in the bleachers was like, but he doesn't have on a mask. It was like they cleaned the story up after the situation hit the deck. It was like after the situation hit the deck, then they said, "Oh well, no, she wasn't put out of there because of that." Because everybody was there saying, it's like, "Oh no, you didn't see what you saw." Nah, it wasn't
yeah,
that.
don't believe what you're told, not what you see.
Your eyes was really tricking you because we was tickling her. The lady just needed a little. She had been locked down for so long, she needed a little tickle, and we tickled her. And that's all we had to do. And somebody got to tickle you sometimes. So it was a hot rump mess to me. It really was. But there's a lot of stuff going on right now where people are really getting very violent. And I honestly believe that it's going to get worse within the next month. And to your point, yes, people are now beginning to tattletale on one another. What have we become when adults have to be so involved in somebody else's business? Listen, if you feel like somebody is going to get you infected with the disease, then move along. Just move along. You know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
go. I mean, what is the problem?
But
Why?
they are just so. I've never seen people so hell bent on thinking that they're like, if you want to make a difference, you can make a difference somewhere, but this is not your fight. I remember having to tell somebody, this is not your fight. I happened to tell her, listen, and I'm not saying you have to be black in order to care about someone, but you're speaking out of turn. Nobody's asking your permission on nobody needs you to tell them how to feel, and nobody needs your permission on what words we use when we're talking to people in the black community. Get in your lane. or
Yes.
stay
Yes.
in it.
Yeah. How about that? How about
it's
just doing that?
Yeah,
That's a-
because they just I can just speak up for people that I care about. I'm like, not here. You're telling him he's wrong. This was his. I'm like, I normally don't go toe to toe and head to head with people, but I'm sick of these liberals and but they need to. I don't know. I'm just sick of all of the people that are just in their emotions about something that doesn't concern them, that doesn't really directly affect them.
Yeah.
The most
I have a
interaction.
video. I have a video. So right here, I'm going to show you this one. Have you seen this one?
Someone out in public without a mask.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Confront them. Good for you. If you believe they're jeopardizing their physical safety by going out without the proper facial covering, they need to be called out. This is the kind of thing America needs more of right now.
Paul, can you guys hear
Once
this?
you properly chastise them, there's little doubt they'll put on that mask.
Yes.
I could probably give you a panoply of tips to make sure the repartee works out well. Among my first suggestions would be this one. Don't assault the mask shirker. Now, normally, I'd assume that this would be self-evident. If you're outraged that someone isn't wearing a mask and they might physically harm you or others by spreading a pathogen, it doesn't enhance your argument if you're going to put them in physical danger yourself. It's one thing to go a Karenin, but it's quite another to hurt
I'm so
someone
stupid.
because of the minute chance
A
that they
Karenin?
you or someone else COVID-19.
Hey.
But no, this is 2020. The year we've all decided we're living in the first act of a zombie movie where everyone decides the best course of action is to turn on one another. Thus, in Manhattan Beach, California, we have an unnamed woman throwing coffee in the face of a maskless man, provoking a brawl that was caught on camera and made us all feel a little worse about humanity. Now, I watched the tape, and I want to say that if these two folks were sitting there having a conversation about people wearing white shirts and you had one, big deal. You don't know if they're talking about you or not. But in this case, these two gentlemen were sitting there in Manhattan Beach about to eat their lunch, and they were chatting about a friend who had a problem with the other guy for not wearing a mask. The two mask wearers heard the conversation and automatically assumed that they must be talking about them. Well, because they're wearing masks. Well, the situation got a little out of hand when the young lady decided she had enough of the conversation the man was having with her boyfriend, and she took her hot cup of coffee and threw it in the man's face. Violence quickly ensued. Her boyfriend got his tailpile beat. She got slapped around a little bit. I want to say that it really doesn't make any good sense to go around telling strangers
Look at the blood on his
what
shirt.
they should or should not do. And, sir, if
Look at the
you're
blood.
going to date a woman that has the ability or has a trigger that would make her throw hot coffee on somebody, you need to take a couple of self-defense classes because, well, you just got your butt beat. I mean, really, you should never date a woman like her again. She literally got the brakes beat off of you. I mean, this guy worked you over. This guy worked you over. like, like you were a math problem. I'm so sorry. This is Felicia Lockhart, and this has been Lockhart Perspective.
I tried not to laugh so hard.
You couldn't help yourself.
I could not help myself when I did that story. I was like, I was trying to be as serious as I could be. You know what I'm saying? I tried to be as serious as I could be. But by the time I got to that last part, I was like, you know what? Like I tell my sons all the time, look here. Don't be running around here dating none of these big mouth girls. When y'all go to the store, somebody look at her. You got to go, defend her honor because she going to throw you under the bus. Don't be running around here dating none of them girls like that. That's why I was like, sir, you really need to take some self-defense classes because he worked you over like a math problem. He really did. The dude was just sitting there. They were minding their own business, talking amongst themselves. And as they're talking amongst themselves, she walks past with the boyfriend and thinks, oh, well, let me just go ahead and say what I want to say. Let me do what I want to do. Let me just jump in it. And so this guy literally got his butt beat messing with this chick. I don't know whether they were married. I don't even know what their situation or status was as far as dating or whatever. But I would just say this. You know, we said it earlier. Men have a really rough time out there in the world today. They really do. Men have a rough time because I mean, look at it seriously. I mean, you got a lot of guys who are just trying to make it, and everybody wants some companionship. But the only people that are available that'll even let any man get up to them these days is the cuckoo crazies like her.
That's that's a point well taken.
Poor dudes. I feel so bad for men. I really do. Wait a minute. I feel bad for folk who ain't married. I got me a permanent beau. I got me a permanent man. But the fact of the matter is, it's just really sad. It's really sad. So I look at old head. This like seriously, it's like, are you serious today? You guys are really serious. Y'all gonna really sit up here and fight about something like that. But you know what? I wanted to show you that one thing that we were talking about earlier, where we were chatting about the Black woman, the independent Black woman, and where that crap started from. That to me, I think for me, just as a woman, I just think it's important that so I think that's why we make a lot of comical videos, right? We make a lot of our videos have some comic relief to them so that people will really get it. And I think that Black women right now need to take a tip from the old school playbook and leave a lot of those thought processes that a lot of women right now are shoving down their throats. Leave that stuff in the garbage can, because that's the easiest way to be lonely, broke, busted, and disgusted. Because you're running around here alienating all the men. You want to tell a guy, I want him to have this, I want him to have that. He needs to have this and that. And if he doesn't have that, then I don't want him. Well, what are you bringing to the table?
The problem for Black women today is that stupid phrase, I'm an independent Black woman that don't need no man. That's the stupidest thing that I have ever heard. And it's even dumber coming from somebody who's married. If you're married, you're not independent in the first place. If you are married, then you're dependent, right? And you should be dependent on each other. For the woman who's not married and who's running around telling everybody that she doesn't need a man, you can have all the education, you can have all the money, you can have the house, you can have the car, but trust me, sister, you need a man. Even if you say, I only need him for one thing, you still need him. I understand that there are a lot of women out there that feel this way, but I want to really let you know that came from our captor. They decided that the easiest thing to do was to strip the man and the woman from one another. And so now you're stuck being independent and paying for everything. And I do mean everything. I think it's a sweet thing when a husband knows that he is his wife's hero. And when that woman tells him, baby, you're the best, it makes him feel like he's on top of the world. The sweetest union is that of a husband and a wife committed to one another, loving each other and caring for each other. The wife should be somebody that the husband can trust. Ironically, every year people give that card to folks for Mother's Day. Who can find a virtuous woman? Her price is far beyond rubies. Huh? And yet and still, while we're in the marriage, we're still thinking like that of those independent people. When you are married and you are husband and wife together, you don't need to worry about all that independent stuff. Rest. Let your husband take care of you. I remember so many years ago, and it really doesn't feel like it was that far ago, but so many years ago, there was the mom home with the children, and the father, for the most part, went to work and took care of the family. Now, there are those situations where that didn't happen, but I'm talking about the large majority of the time. The husband and the wife were a unit that worked together. Just like a basketball team or a football team, each individual knew their place, and the women, for the most part, were happy with it. But we all now have this mindset of, well, I've got to have my own money. Well, I've got to have this. And then we had somebody in our ear telling us, girl, you should keep your own change. And we broke the family up by trying to go out and get minimum wage jobs to help us take care of our family when it was really a fallacy. Because after you've had a baby, there's no way on the planet you're going to tell me that taking care of daycare is cheaper than sitting at home taking care of your house. We as women already have a big enough job. But the irony is that even though we know we have that big job, we sort of want to get back out there as soon as we've had the kids. Husband shirts that got all kind of ring around the collar. The kids are running all over the place. Meanwhile, the husband who wants to adore the wife who really should be adored by that man, has switched the rules up so much that life is not what it should be. God created us a certain way. And if you are somebody who's looking for truth, why don't you try cracking open that Bible? Don't just open it whenever it's time for that Mother's Day card. Use it often. This is Felicia Lockhart, and this has been the Lockhart Perspective.
It was very, very entertaining. Uh-oh.
Oops. I told y'all I gotta be me. Look, I gotta be me. Now y'all know I be jacking up anything dealing with electronics. It's me. It's not the electronics. I be like, oh, something wrong. No, but I mean that video. It's really, honestly, truthfully saying, keep everybody else out of your ears and out of your head. I think a lot of women have a lot of people in their heads, and as soon as the dust drops and the relationship is over, the people that was in your head is gone. Why? Because they don't want to be bothered with you. They help you mess up your marriage. They help you mess up your relationship. And then you sitting up there poor, broke, busted, and disgusted with your family and friends. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, a lot of women make the mistake of listening to other people. And look at that woman that's giving you that advice. Is she married? Oftentimes she's not. She trying to get you out of your good things so you can be lonely, broke, busted, and disgusted like her. I'm independent. Yeah, well, let me show you. If I tell my sons, as soon as one of them chicks start talking about they independent, prove it. Move on out the way so she can stand up by herself.
That's
you guys,
true.
I appreciate y'all for sitting up with me. Now y'all know that I'm old. This past my bedtime. But look, Black Spring, we got to do this again. So
yeah, that was fun.
And listen, I'm going to have my guest that was on with me come back really soon. And I would love for you to be on the panel. We're going to put together a panel of 4. And I would love it if you would just join us, because, you know, it's very rare that you find women of like mind. And these days, women with just good sense. I mean, sometimes come on now. There's a lot of ratchetness out there, and that's okay if that's what people choose to do. Cool beans. You know what I'm saying? Do you? That's fine. But right now, today, with all the stuff that's going on, we really do need to have some soundness of mind, and we need to have our wits about us, and we need to be sober-minded. We really need to be sober-minded. And the real way to do that is to go back to the beginning and figure out ways that we are going to fix what we have independently in our own community. And I don't mean independent of a man. I mean what we together are going to do to make sure that we brick by brick are starting to fix what's wrong. Okay, all of us got somebody else in us, but I'm a Black woman. If you look at me, right? Native American, but I'm a Black woman if you look at me from face value. So I've got to be responsible to do what I can do to help fix what's wrong in my household, fix what's wrong in my neighborhood, fix what's wrong in my community. And I think that by us having more positive conversations, lifting each other up and lifting our men up, because to me, that's what needs to be done right now. I know everybody's getting stuck on this whole millennial mindset. And you guys, I don't care who you are, it's all about the woman learning how to think strategically in the family and how to get back to the way things were so that our families can continue to thrive and to grow and to be healthy so that we can produce healthy individuals for the future. That's what the attack has been against. And since we know we've been attacked, we've got to figure out how to undo what's been done.
I agree.
All right. Spring will marry rich. This boy says spring will marry rich. Old head. Old head said you gonna marry rich. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. I've been broke and I've been poor and I've been rich. But let me tell you, rich feel a whole lot better when your stomach is sitting up there growling and your stomach is sucked to the back of your ribs. Ain't nothing wrong with rich.
There you
rich
go.
Rich is not necessarily bad. You know what I mean? Old head. Rich is not a bad thing. You know, I mean, but hey, what about two people together, you know, well off, and then just adding to life together? If you get a man and he's got some money, it's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'll tell you right now, baby girl, I married a broke man one time. Oh, let's see. The ingredients for a happy and successful marriage is one female and one male whom has a daily relationship with God, which is based on not just faith, but on obedience to God's guidance. Oh my God, Paul, you are so right. That is like, oh my God, that's like kudos to him because that's so true. That's really what it's about. That is really honestly what it is about. And for that, I reward you. I just have to say, I just have to say that that's it in a nutshell. Wealth and riches matter. Well, wealth and riches do matter to a point. And here's what I'm going to say. True wealth is having exactly what he just got through saying. Because wealth is, listen, to me, wealth is what you can make out of zero. That's wealth. Having the mindset and the knowledge of how to make something out of nothing. And you can't do that divided. It's got to be a wife and a husband together with, like he just said, that daily relationship and devotion to God and obedience to his word. That right there, that's wealth. That's riches and wealth. And that's the reason why they want to keep all the young folks and all the older folks separated. Because if they can separate husbands and wives from one another, what Paul Graves just said in the chat, that will happen. If we're not separated, then what he says, that's the recipe right there. What he just gave us to happiness in a relationship, that's it. That's it right there. What he just said, that is the ingredients. If you wanted to put a cake in a bowl and make a delicious cake, that's it right there. Yes, 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 yes. I'm so happy. I love everybody in the chat. I'm so happy that I had my surrogate daughter here. And you know, when it comes to passing out sons, I do have two sons that are available. I do have two sons that are available. Okay.
Nice.
Well, listen, you guys, it's been a great time with you all tonight. It is early in the morning for this old lady, so I'm gonna go in. I want to thank all of you guys for hanging out and the chat. Let's see who we have here left. We've got Old Head. We have Mr. Paul Graves and two other voyeurs because I can't see anybody else. Let me see where we oh no, we have Brother Apocalypse. And it's Proverb Nation. No, Proverb Nation went on to the bed. Proverb Nation was like, I'm going to sleep. And so did Maynard. Well, in any case, you guys, I appreciate you all for being here. Again, thank you to my special guest. And the one and only.
You're welcome.
The one and only I appreciate you guys all. So we'll have to do this again, but I'm going to come in and visit your stream next time because you have such good stuff already put together. Like, look at this, click. And I'll be like, go girl, go
Oh
girl.
my gosh! You know, it's been an evolution. It just keeps changing. The tools. Sometimes the tools don't all hang in there together, so I have to make like a banana and split. You know.
Well, I tell you what, I enjoyed this gathering. Oh, we enjoyed having you. And you know what, you guys, if you guys have a topic that you want for myself or for Black Spring on her channel to talk about, you guys throw it at us. Because there's really nothing that that we won't talk about. And you guys saw I just had a sex therapist on my show, what, 2 weeks ago?
I saw that.
Oh my God, oh wow. I was shy, and Derek C. Williams was like, "What's the matter, Miss Lockhart?" I'm like, "Look here, y'all ain't getting me into that conversation." Yeah, but the point is that we should have healthy environments to have conversations, not some of these vile and vulgar things that we can watch. And I do. I mean, I watch some crazy stuff that cracks me up, and I'm like, "Wow, really?" And then I'll be shaking my head saying, "Lord, we're demented. Lord, this is crazy." But you got to be able to temper some of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's just where we are right now. I think that's really, really what it is. It's where we are right now, because I mod for certain people that I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe they said that. But I love the core of the person. I love the person's core. You know what I mean? And some of the times when I see that sometimes the stream might be a little strong for me, I'm like, okay, backing away slowly now. This is not a topic that I can digest. And I do that. But I believe that that's what being an adult is being able to temper wisdom and say, okay, this is not healthy. I got to get away from this. You got family members that are the same way, that can have a kooky conversation or something going on. You're like, well, I'm not going in there because Annie such and such is tripping now. And in a minute, she going to get drunk and that's going to be it. You know what I'm saying? So, oh yes. Okay. Let's add our links. Okay. He wants us to add the links. Add your link into the chat, Black Spring.
Okay, I'll do it.
Let me add mine. So, over here.
Well, I appreciate you so much for having me on. Thank you very much.
Anytime. I love you. You know that, because I'm like, help me.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah, it's no problem. I'm glad I can do something to help. Okay, let's see. Well, you know what I'll have to do is, I don't know if I can drop it. I'm gonna go in the back. I'm gonna go through the back way.
Oh yeah, me too. I have my cell phone. I've got my handy dandy cell phone. I can do it from there. I'm sitting up here trying to figure out, how do I do that? I'm looking like a monkey doing a math problem. I'm seriously trying to figure it out.
I'm glad that I caught you, because I thought I missed. I think you had another stream maybe once earlier.
Oh yes, I had the young lady on for an hour. It was called Stabbed to Life. She was stabbed 18 times by her husband, and her daughter dialed. She had picked up the phone to dial 911, and then she said as soon as he heard that she had dialed 911, she said she looked up and she realized that where she thought he was punching her, he was literally stabbing her, and that she noticed the blood on the that was sitting all on the wall and all on the refrigerator, because he stabbed her and left her for dead pretty much. But she had the presence of mind to get out of the house. And so she did. And she said she was trying to get to him before he got to his utility truck. And in his utility truck, there were guns. And so she got to him. She screamed out in time for the neighbor to see it. And when the neighbors saw, they just dialed the police, and the police came. But this guy was really, really special. He was really special. I'm putting your link in right now.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's taking me. I'm going around the world to do it. and
No,
it's not.
I'm doing it the cheat. Now see, that's the things that I have learned how to do. I have learned how to put stuff in the thing. And now I think we can go now because it's in there. Does everybody see the links in there? Okay, there are our links.
Thank you so
Chris
much, and
Dozy, thank you. All
thank
right.
you guys so much, and thank you, the Lockhart Perspective, for having me on. In my, I was all over the place, but
Girl,
yeah.
I'm all over the place. Don't play this stream back from the beginning. You're gonna be like, what was wrong with her? You guys, I love you all. Thank you so very much. Godspeed, and keep the faith in these ever-changing times that we're in right now. You'll hear both Black Spring and I back in our normal capacity doing our journalistic sides of this thing that we do here. And I just appreciate everybody for being here tonight. So you guys take care, stay safe, and we'll see you again soon.
Bye-bye.